of Pearl Daily. All right, today we have a special show for you. But before we start, oh, blessing, I didn't even move my water bottle. Before we start, please, guys, consider signing up to our yearly memberships. I really want to pay Blessing this month, even though he's agreed to work pro bono, right, Blessing?
Help a brother out, guys.
Even though, I'd like to pay him. So please, send super chats on the website and sign up to our memberships. I interact with the network chat the most. Also, we accept Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. That's going to be on the screen. And yeah, you'll have first access to our documentary. And we also have a donation page where you can donate to help fund the divorce documentary. Okay, so Blessing, are you coming? So today, guys, we're gonna start with a song I wrote. You already know I'm always messing around, writing music, the whole thing. And I'll just, test songs with you guys, see how you like them. And this one I wrote, and we're upgrading the piano playing because Blessing said I suck, right, Blessing? I mean, my piano is an A1. Are we not going to do the other camera or no? Oh, no. He's like, no, get me out of this stuff. Oh, we are? How are you going to do it over here? Oh, nice. Very nice. Blessing, get this gal on time, would you? I don't trust the news anymore. They're soldiers in a media war. They're robbing our neighborhood stores. Oh, I don't trust the news anymore. Fox News, CNN, they're all the same. They're all pawns playing the same game. They used to tell the truth, but now they're bought and paid. Oh, I don't trust the news anymore. They're soldiers in a media war. What happened to the men for the people? Oh, no, not yet. Wake up. So what happened to the men for the people? What happened to the men? You want me to go see, this is why I just play the one note. Okay, wait, keep going. You want me to go slower? Okay. All right, I'll try again. What happened to the men for the people? What happened to the men for freedom? The man you couldn't say jack shit to. Now all you get is liars. What happened to the freedom fighters? What happened to the ride or diers? What happened to the man with the fire? Now all the men look tired. I don't trust the news anymore. Yeah, we're working on it. That's the... What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I mean, it's fine. It's fine either way. We just... we try to appease the people. And it's a lot of fun. We love the music here. Now, my first song I released, guys, on Twitter... Oh, shit. It got me in some trouble, right, Blessing? Can we release that full song? Wouldn't it be kind of funny? Can we do it, Blessing?
Cancellation funny.
It would be kind of funny, though, right?
A little bit.
I mean, I had some ideas.
On the website. Behind the paywall.
Okay, Viking Farmer, hello in the chat. Craig Thomason, hello in the chat. Okay, so, that's just like a fun thing we're doing. Please, guys, do consider signing up for our membership. Now, so today what I wanted to talk about, let me fix this mic really quick. Thank you. All right. So today, what I wanted to talk about is when I was a kid. So, as you guys know, I am from a rural area in Illinois. And when I was growing up, I was quite a busy child. I mean, how many kids do you know, Blessing? I was involved in a musical while also doing travel volleyball and basketball. That's pretty busy, right?
Damn, yeah, that's
Yeah,
busy.
I was I mean, guys, I've always been a woman of many talents, right, Blessing?
Right.
I expect a right. And there's one summer that I didn't have a lot going on. And I remember the summer like it was yesterday because normally I would go to vacation Bible school. Any Catholics in the house? Vacation Bible school. I would go, I would maybe go to like a summer camp, vacation Bible school. I would go to sports camps. But this summer, I just did not have a lot going on. My family would travel the world. And that summer, I decided, I was gifted a Sims game. Do you remember Sims, Blessing?
Classic game. Yeah.
It's a great game. I mean, I freaking and basically, when I was a kid, I loved Polly Pockets and I loved Sims. And I wasted my Blessing. You don't even understand. I would play this game like 10 hours a day.
Damn.
I know. I wasted my entire summer. Like maybe you were in Zimbabwe when you were a kid.
Yep.
So imagine like blessings out in Zimbabwe. What did you guys do in Zimbabwe?
Play sports.
Yeah, I was just sitting. Looking, and then we both wound up here. How funny is that?
It's amazing.
What a life, right? At the same time.
Same time in
You're out
London.
playing sports in Zimbabwe. I was here. I was not here. I was in America. I'm like, who knew our paths would have crossed, Blessing? How amazing.
No one knew.
No one knew. Anyway, so why did I love Sims? Now, Sims was great because you could be anything you wanted without really doing the work. I mean, I one episode I would be a housewife. And sometimes and then you'd get married and you could marry whoever. You could design I mean, guys, this is fueling delusion from a young age. I mean, I could be anything I wanted and I could design and marry whoever I wanted. So it'd be like one episode I would marry a soldier, and then the next episode I would marry a doctor. I mean, hypergamy, right, Blessing?
Right.
um, and really, what was fun about Sims is you could play pretend, use your imagination, and be whatever you wanted without doing the work to become whatever you want. Now, my brother did not really play Sims. He played, did you guys have RuneScape, Blessing?
Nope.
Okay, well, RuneScape, you had to work to acquire skills. Now, it's still a video game, so all you're really doing is clicking. But I remember there was like wood chop, and my brother was like an expert wood chopper. And again, but the games that me and my friends used to play, if we played video games at all, seemed to appeal to women. And again, it still goes back to playing pretend. And what I realized the older I got is that we are in a world where we constantly play pretend. Men pretend women are equally as competent as their male counterparts. Men pretend that women are more attractive than we are. They constantly see our filters on Instagram, our pound of makeup, and have to play pretend like we do not look ridiculous. Blessing, have you ever looked at a chick and said, why?
Maybe. Yeah.
Men have to listen to our stories that are clearly not true. Like the women that come in and say they were abused. And men are much more logical than us, right, Blessing?
Of course.
So they know when we're just talking shit, when we're over exaggerating story. Maybe not always, but men start to wise up. But men bite their tongues often, and they let us play pretend. Men pretend their wives are more influential in their success than they are. Oftentimes, they do this because their wife is down their neck talking about how amazing, special, and awesome they are. And men will say things like, I could not have done it without my wife. Now, Blessin, you're a pretty successful guy. You got to be like a king coming from Zimbabwe, right?
I'm the best.
Yeah, like does everyone think you're like awesome?
Of course.
I mean, we're like the biggest YouTube channel. Like, we're huge. Yeah,
Very huge.
huge. So, yeah. And so, Blessing, he could have married young, right? I mean, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah.
And if he did marry young, I'm sure he would still be here. And without a wife, he's also still here. Successful men are going to be successful with or without their women. And there are a million women that can join them along the way. Successful men are rare. Women are not. Pretty is common, success is rare. And oftentimes, what we have to play pretend to is wives that take all of the credit for their husband's success. Have you seen that dynamic? Blessing?
Happens a lot.
A lot. Men have also had to pretend that women are actually battered and abused and these innocent creatures that just need saving. No, we are not. No, we are not. You know, men have to pretend, and I'll even include myself in this, that the female influencers are equally as competent as the male influencers. It is just not the case. As much as I'm a fan of Brett Cooper, Ben Shapiro had to become 20 million times more competent to have a similar amount of influence. Ben Shapiro had to be a lawyer. Brett Cooper had to be a young chick commentating on the news. Both talented, right? But let's not pretend they're the same. Even Kevin Samuels, Myron had to become he was like a Fed, or I forget what exactly. But again, men have to become 10 times more competent to have the same amount of influence as a chick. On top of that, men have had to pretend that we deserve these entrepreneurship awards. I see all of these women on LinkedIn with clearly unprofitable companies or clearly just selling some sort of female influencing, having to play pretend like they are equally as competent as their male counterparts. Again, men have to do 10 times as much work for half of the credit. Am I wrong, Blessing?
No, you're not.
Now, Blessing, have you ever seen a woman get a scholarship that she does not deserve?
That happens a lot.
A lot. And even in the school system, they tend to teach and measure things in a way that women are good at it. Men used to outcompete women in the school system before they switched it. Before the 70s, 60s around, men had a higher IQ than women across the board. And what they did, or higher test scores than women across the board in school. And what they did is they started to factor in things like essays and attendance. Now, men are much more logical than women. They'll take a test and they say, okay, I see the point in that. What they don't see the point in is showing up to a class that they don't have to. Right, Blessing?
Right.
If you could pass a class without going to class, why would you go?
I wouldn't go.
Exactly. But women were not as logical. We'll still show up, and they decided we need to give women more credit. On top of that, women, we have to play pretend like women are. On top of that, we have to play pretend like women look like the way they do on Instagram. Blessing, how many times have we had a chick and we'll look at the roster before a show and say, wow, that woman's really attractive. And then have her come in and she's 40 pounds heavier and 2 points uglier.
The gram does lie a lot.
The gram lies a lot, lady. This is ridiculous. And you're making all of us play pretend. There was a tweet recently. I'm going to pull this up. pull, here we go. Pull this up. So there was a Reddit post that said, I had sex for the first time ever with my boyfriend. He texted me the day after with a list of mistakes I made. I lost my virginity to my boyfriend a couple of days ago. I know that going in, I was going to be nervous and clumsy. The sex was pretty awkward, and sometimes I had to ask him to stop a bit. He did, I don't know what's allowed on YouTube. But, anyways, the next day I woke up to a text from him listing the things I did wrong. Be sexier. Don't be so quiet. Moan and scream. Your head game needs a lot of work. Look it up. Don't act awkward. You're not a virgin anymore, so don't act like it. You need to get better at shaving. Don't tell a guy to stop when he's getting into it. It ruins the mood. Let me try what I want. Not letting me ruins the mood. Don't be shy. It's not sexy. Now, she was complaining about this. Now, many women, again, think they're better in bed than they are. They think their vagina is God's gift to the earth, and they just are these amazing sex gods. I swear. I've spoken to enough of you. We can't all be amazing. And yet, when men are real and honest and don't have to play pretend, then we get offended. And I think women have no idea how hard life would be if men just didn't play pretend all the time. Women's empowerment, I hear this all of the time. My mom is a strong woman. I am a strong, independent woman. Again, this is playing pretend. Even me, you could say I am my own boss, right? But I am not strong, nor am I independent, because a man built the building I'm sitting in, invented the microphone I'm talking into, and quite frankly, I don't know how to use any of this equipment, right, Blessing?
Right.
It's okay, you can be honest. Go ahead.
You don't know how to use nothing in its placement.
Why would you say that? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Men have to play pretend with all this innocent stuff. I mean, ladies, why are men waiting 3 months to sleep with you at 32? I mean, how innocent are you at 32? Can we just stop playing? Even at 22, can we just stop playing pretend? Makeup, filters, plastic surgery, all playing pretend. Women talking about how they want a good, moral, and spiritual guy when really they just want a guy that is hot and strong. Have you seen that, Pastor Blessing?
Yep.
The women, we have to play pretend like they actually want a guy that's equally yoked. But when the ex-convict comes to church, they're super down, right, Blessing?
Yep. The one praying criminals.
Yeah. And, there's just so many things in society that truly they're just playing pretend. You know what another thing that we're playing pretend?
Yep.
I don't think that women are better decorators than men. I don't believe it. Because I see the style things that men put up for their apartments, and they're actually quite nice. Like when a guy actually puts time into decorating his apartment, I think it's much, even the way you build sets, Blessing.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah, and women, I mean, they just put that live, laugh, love freaking posters on the wall and call it a day.
How many women are architects?
And yet, for some reason, we think of women as the ones that make a home. When really all it means, we're just playing pretend, because all it means is buying a bunch of shit you don't need and spending his money. Am I wrong, Blessing?
No.
Again, pretending women are better communicators and emotionally intelligent. We are the worst communicators. We never get to the point. Right, Blessing?
Right.
I mean, and we ramble on and on and on and on. I mean, look at what I'm doing right now. You guys are just lucky it's entertaining. I mean, but we keep having to play pretend. We keep calling women the nurturing gender. Yet men have better outcomes for children. Men raise better children. Men teach children better. We have to play pretend with all these single mothers and pretend they're good parents. We have to play pretend that single mothers can raise boys. Single mothers raise defective women, and it's very harmful to a child. And he has to seek that out in adulthood. It's not an easy thing for men. And we have to play pretend like Mother's Day is this special Hail Mary amazing thing for single mothers. Now, I'm not talking about widows. They didn't have a choice. But what I'm talking about is we have to play pretend like these single mothers are not selfish. We have to play pretend that older women are even close to as attractive as younger women. We have to say things like cougar, hot mothers. I mean, a 42-year-old woman won't hold up anything to the average college campus these days. We have to play pretend that women are more important for children's development. We have to play pretend that these women actually like their husbands when they belittle him in public, when they roll their eyes at him, when they overtalk him, when the house is decorated to how she likes it, when they live where she wants, when they raise the kids where she wants, when they do everything the way that she wants, and she gave her best years to somebody before him, when he never got the best of her. We have to play pretend. Have you seen that, Blessing?
Yep.
We have to pretend that we can survive without men. We have to pretend that women contribute to society even half as much as men. We have to pretend that women are more valuable than men. I am just sick of playing pretend. Did I miss anything, Blessing?
Nah, not at all.
So I have if so we're gonna do a call-in. Do you have the link, Blessing? It's all right if you don't.
Yeah, I have the link here. I'm gonna
Okay.
put it up.
Okay, so if it's a woman calling in, I want to know if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Are we not all just playing pretend? My critics, my detractors, I want to hear from you. I'm the woman hater, right? Call in. From the men, I actually have a question. I want to know, when is the first time that you had to play pretend? We got that. Can you put it on X too? If you don't mind.
Yep.
Thank you. Am I wrong? Am I crazy for looking at all this? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe I'm just making this up. For the men, and guys, please, if you're gonna call in, phone down. Please don't be walking. If you're sitting in the car, put the camera. Please don't be driving. Please don't be driving. No trolling. If you're gonna troll, you're gonna get blocked.
And there's a lot of people I'm seeing in the comments that have a lot of things to say. Don't stay in the comment section. Come over here. Thank you.
Yeah. Which comment section?
Oh, there's an Aria here. You're welcome, Aria. You have a lot to say.
Who is Aria?
She has a lot to say.
In YouTube or where?
YouTube.
I don't see her, but. All right, I'm looking at James Jeffries. Women can raise men, but they need to be really old school in nature. No, women can't raise men. They can raise boys, But then they have to go figure out how to be a man because the women can't teach them.
You ready for the first call in?
Yeah, sure.
Give me a sec. You can talk for a bit, pal.
Okay. I thought you were pulling it up. Yeah, so, Blessing, have you ever lied to a woman?
Maybe.
I thought you were a pastor. Guys, let me know in the chat, when's the first time you lied to a woman? When's the first time you played pretend? When is the first time? Actually, I want to send this link. Pearl is Blessing's mom.
Jesus.
Wow. He looks like me. And it's just like, why do I have to, guys, there is this time, just, I was going to actually do a collaboration with Jordan Peterson. And I was so excited. I love Jordan Peterson. I used to watch him like a couple of years ago, and I would just listen to him for hours. I was so excited. And it was literally going to happen. But I guess his daughter like runs all of his social media. And I think I triggered his daughter one day. And she tweets that I'm like a woman hater. And that also, I think she wanted to collaborate with me for a while. I was really busy back then. I got the time if she ever wants to take me up on it. But she tweeted that she's been super influential to her dad's business. And I just thought to myself, wow, that is delusion. That you think that you, as like a 20-something-year-old, was that necessary in your dad who's like 70s success? Oh my God, we all have to just play pretend, don't we? Oh, we have to play pretend. This is crazy. But, and I love Jordan Peterson, but I just think that's insane. My dad, I worked for him one summer. And even if I worked for him for a couple of years, I would never, never, never take credit for my dad's success. He would have been successful with or without me. 100%. Women tend to mess things up way more than they help. TikTok famous. He's in the chat. Why don't you come up? Let me see your face. Nope, no, not real name, not real face, no profile picture. Nice. Nice.
All right. I'm going to get the first call out with you.
Is it a guy or a girl?
It's a couple.
A couple. Okay.
Yeah. This guy's still raising his hand. All right. Give me a second.
Hello, guys. I can't hear you. Are they muted or?
Oh, snap.
Oh, hello, guys. How are you?
Oh, we're not up yet.
Oh, I hear you. You're up.
Yeah, it's us.
Cheetah movie.
Yeah, you're
We have to wait till we're over here because it's trippy.
Right.
We turn that off?
you're
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Guys, you're up. You see me?
Pearl!
Hello.
Oh, shit.
So what do you guys think?
What about now?
Oh,
Can you hear us?
yeah, I can hear
Can you hear
you.
us?
I can hear you and see you.
Pearl!
Hello.
What's up?
Wait, there's like a lag.
There's a lag on our end.
Okay.
Is there on yours?
Nope. I can hear you fine.
Right. And there's a hell of a oh my god, there's a hell of a lag over here.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. So.
Well, I mean, I was just going to ask you guys, what do you think about women playing pretend? What do you think of the topic?
Damn it.
Okay.
You want to?
We exit out of that.
No way.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll wait to bring them back in a second. It's all right, guys. Sometimes it happens. We get technical difficulties. Um, is anyone else going up?
There is someone else, but second.
Guy or a girl?
Uh,
I mean, who else is doing this, guys? Of all the trad cucks, of all the trad con people, who else is taking calls from anybody? Who else is taking calls? TikTok famous, come up. Come up, put your camera on. No, no.
second.
Another time, I'll tell you guys another time I had to play pretend. There's a couple I knew from where I'm from. And this couple, I'll tell you what, the woman was the CEO of taking credit. The woman just loved to take credit for her husband's success constantly. Oh, he couldn't do this without me. Oh, what would I do without her? Probably the same thing. Lessons over here. He would have been a camera genius with or without a wife. If he had a wife, I'm sure it would be. There's women auditioning, right? Blessing. you know, I'm sure. I'm sure. Sorry, I don't want to get you in trouble. I was kidding. I was kidding. I was kidding. I was kidding. So women, we just love to take credit. Men are gonna do what they're gonna do regardless of us.
Okay, there's a guy who's ready to come on now.
Okay. Did they fix their Did they come?
I'm just waiting for them to fix
Oh.
their.
Okay, so then bring up the guy then.
I'm gonna bring up someone else for now. He's been waiting. I'll ask you to unmute.
Hello.
To the host.
Could you put your camera down, please?
Oh, okay. Is that okay now?
Yeah, just on a desk or something.
Okay, that's I think better.
Yeah, there you go.
Like that.
Yeah, that's better. So when is the first time you played pretend?
So they sorry, like they pretend because they became woke, and the woke ideology, women feel they're not women, and they are far from their reality, and because of that they play pretend.
Where are you from? Where are you at?
Oh, I'm literally from Middle East, but I immigrated to Denmark.
Okay. What part of the Middle East?
I don't like to say because it's a terrorism country,
Oh.
a terrorist country. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you know, and I know. Yeah.
No, I don't know, but I'll just
because it's a country who starts a war against Israel.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm curious, do they play pretend there? Is feminism still do they have
Yes.
it there?
Yes, the feminism goes wild after the women life freedom protests, and
Oh, okay.
because of that, it goes wild, and that's bad because every movements are like it they belong to feminism, and that's not good because in for example, 4 years ago there was a gas protesting in our country, and the people, men and women, they go and protest without saying anything about gender, about equality, or about any woke uh, topics. But in 2022, when they did a movement, so about women life freedom after the regime killing Masami, every feminist, and also um, LGBTQ activists, they say like the persons who killed were, for example, lesbian. They were feminists.
And so that was
We should
that was in the
do equality for women.
and that was in the Middle East.
Yes.
Really? No, I don't know. I don't know much about like I've
It was
never.
from September 2022 till now, and
Wow.
4 days ago, no, 5 days
So
ago,
yeah.
in
So
this movement, it was a rapper who was leading some protests of this movement. He sentenced to death, and many people in, for example, Canada, they're protesting for him to do not get executed. It's bad to they sentence him to death, but they just related them to women's equality. And
when
they
when is the first time you had to lie to a woman to spare her feelings?
come again.
When is the first time you had to lie to a woman to spare her feelings?
I don't know. The first time, um, I think when I was 15.
And what was it?
About a relationship, because I'm not interested go into a relationship, and I just lied, and then I realized myself after 2 months.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Wow, feminism's in like Palestine, right? That's what he's talking about. Wow. Let's try. All right, TikTok famous in the chat. You are going to get Heidi. You're gonna get hidden only cause you're being a bitch. Call in. Call in. All right, Mr. Oh, hello guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hey, we need a blessing over here. That was the problem.
So tell me, why do modern women play pretend?
It's for power and privilege. That's why. And because his men just co-sign it, unfortunately. The first person you have to lie to spare their feelings is your mom. You know, if you don't lie to your mom, she will punish you. She will actively punish you in every way possible. And you know, that might be taking away all your privileges. That might be beating the shit out of you, spanking you. Yeah, it starts really early. And so, and unfortunately, most men, they don't transition from that son, that boy, up to where the man, the husband in relationship is supposed to act like a father and the wife's supposed to act like the eldest daughter. They just stay that mother-son dynamic forever. So that's what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? It's a mother-son dynamic with the relationship too.
Okay, so yeah. Every Western relationship right now, every husband and wife acts like a mother and a son. Mm-hmm. That's backwards. You know, they're supposed to be acting like a father and an eldest daughter, a husband and wife. So the biggest thing that they're putting about right now with feminism is that it's about equality. It's not. It's about power and privilege, right? So the first time we can see this is in 1920. They wanted the privilege and power of voting, but they didn't want the obligation and equality of the draft. Why has not a single woman demanded equality to be drafted in 104 years? They don't want equality. They want privilege and power. They've always had more privilege. The only privilege that men had, right? Men have the privilege of protecting and dying for women. Oh, yeah. Oh, what a great privilege. Wow, we're so privileged, you know. Like, men have the privilege of being a slave for women, right? Providing for them, working 24/7. Oh, wow, what a privilege, right? You know, so so yeah, they wanted privilege and power. You know, that's why there's not a single protest for them wanting to demand women to be drafted. So
right. And
that's why they're not demanding. We want preferential hiring treatment. We demand 50% or more of women to be in construction jobs, manual labor. Why would they not want that?
Keep us out of that. Keep us out of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are the biggest ways that you see women play pretend?
Gosh, in every area. So one of the biggest areas, women believe whatever they see. right? So they watch The Little Mermaid and they're like, oh, that's real life. That's gonna happen for me. Woo! Like so boys, like they're born and raised with Batman and Superman, and we like it, right? It appeals to our male brain. But we know Batman and Superman isn't real. We know we're not gonna be Batman when we go there. We're like, oh, that's fun, but that's not real, right? Girls maintain The Little Mermaid. Oh, that's going to happen for me. They think that's real life, right? They're very impressionable. They believe what they see. They don't have like a logic, discernment, reality filter like men do, right?
Mhm.
So, so their objective is not like truth or let's do what's best for everyone. Their objective is what makes me happy. What's going to actually give me the most power and privilege? And they don't care at whose expense it is. They don't care if it's at men's expense. They don't care if it's at their even own children's expense. And they don't care if it's even at other women's expense. And they can't actually, they don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the wisdom, they don't have the intelligence to even look into the future and see that that's actually going to be at their own expense too. So, what all of feminism is men letting women win, right? It's like you play putt-putt golf, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's so romantic if you let her win." Well, why do you have to let her win? Well, she couldn't win any other way, right? So that's not equality. and then when they do win, the putt-putt golf game, they're like, oh, "I won fair and square, woo!" You're like, you don't realize I let you win. We just talked about that before the game. Nope, I won fair and square. So the feminists in the movies, right? So like in my generation, way back in like 2000, there was Angelina Jolie played Tomb Raider, and she was just kicking ass. She was just kicking guys' ass 10 guys at a time or whatever. And now it's like Black Widow. And there's Charlie's Angels.
God.
There's all these women just like dominating men, right? They're like guys weigh 2 times or more their size, and they're just freaking dominating left and right.
Not
Girls
even.
Like, see, I saw it. Women are stronger than men. I saw it on TV. I saw it on the movie.
And they're not even. They're not even athletic women. They're not even athletic. Like I was an actual athlete, so I'm like, these are like this skinny, like they're tiny. They couldn't even play basketball.
They're like wearing stiletto heels, and they don't have a stitch of muscle on them. There's literally not a stitch of muscle on them. I remember watching James Bond. We saw the latest James Bond, and this girl in like toothpick heels and a dress is like swinging around, like kicking men like 10 times her size, and we're like, is this supposed to like be believable? Because this is not even believable. And so that's why movies have sucked now too, and you've addressed that before as well.
Oh yeah, these women producers, we have to play pretend like they make good movies. Like they messed up. How do you mess up The Little Mermaid?
Oh my god, like Star Wars was the most successful movie franchise in history, and because of Kathleen Kennedy being a matriarchal misandrist MFer, like ruined it. Now it's tanking. Disney is like losing money like crazy because they're like, just like politics, feminism, leftism. Yep, that's what the people want. Yep, absolutely. Like, oh my gosh, can you leave your feminism out of our freaking fictional movies? They like, yeah. So, and you know what feminism is? It's women appropriating men. That's what feminism is. They've appropriated every male space. They've appropriated masculinity. Talk about appropriation. So again, if women wanted equality, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and transgender everyone. That sounds great. So let's have the men be women, and the men get to stay at home, right? And they get to do the domestic chores and blah blah blah. And let's have the women protect us and work for us, make all the money. Would any woman ever sign up for that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's why patriarchy is good, and that's why matriarchy is evil. So every other term out there other than patriarchy is a gaslighting term for matriarchy, right? So the terms out there: feminism, gynocentrism, egalitarianism, equality, complementarianism, blah 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 blah. These are all like psyop terms for matriarchy. There's only 2 of us. We're a binary. One person has to be in control.
Right.
So yeah. Like, so what men do when they actually have like power and wealth, they're like, oh, how can we benefit women? How can we protect women? How can we provide women? How can we make women happier? How can we protect and provide for them to make them feel all loved and, yada, yada, yada. Do women do that at all? Nope. They they don't share their money with men. That's why women making more money doesn't mean anything for men. They don't share. But that's why it means something for women, because men share all of their money with women. And so
you're starting,
so like
you're starting to see the reverse couples though. Like I've noticed in London, if I meet a lawyer, she's either dating a musician or an athlete or like a trainer, basically, because they can't get men on their level. So that only leaves them one other option is to date the hot guy.
Actually, predicting more common sex workers in the future with women's matriarchal preferences.
Mm-hmm.
it's so because they have such poor foresight, they don't realize they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Mhm.
So they're gonna let it snowball until all the men have basically become sex workers or musicians or not really industrious men. And then when some alternative culture comes in to try and sweep over, to be as polite as possible, the women are going to be all shocked that the
Right.
men aren't capable to take up arms. Another thing I noticed women pretending, and sorry, I'll make it quick, but women pretend they're not into the stuff they're really into. They're like, oh, I want him to be the nice guy, the soft guy, the sweet,
Yes,
but
yes.
they're into the jerk. We all have heard and spoken about this, but when you were talking about media, what came to mind is like, 50 Shades of Grey,
Right.
or what's the show?
Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale, or all of the smut magazines. They're like, I want him to be a gentleman. I want a bed of roses. I want all this lovey-dovey corn, for example. That's what they'll say. And we pretend that's true. But what they actually give their money to is smut, very BDSM-esh scenes. They have a weird like fetish for alternative worlds where like the women are worshipped and oppressed, and they don't even know what they're into. They're just like some type of form of between, like there is very graphic porn out there, unfortunately, and a lot of it is actually catered to women because they're actually into this really like raunchy, ratchet stuff.
I think women are more sexual than men, because I was thinking about if there's a movie made for men. The point of the movie is the adventure. It's like James Bond or Transformers. There's a hot chick in it. Like they're going to put Scarlett Johansson or Megan Fox, whatever. But if it's a movie for women, the main point of the movie is the sex. That's like, right. That's the main like theme. It's the romance. It's the sex. It's the like. So I find that women are more sexual than men. But
they are nothing they pretend about. Yeah, absolutely. Is being more spiritual than men. They say that women are spiritual, like men are carnal. Mm-hmm. the reason why women pretend to be like more spiritual, they're really not interested in any of this religious stuff. Like they use religion to try to blackmail men. That's what they're in it for. Like, oh, I can use the religion to blackmail, to control them, and then matriarchy, etc. Like, because if women actually cared about what the Bible said, like they'd all be patriarchal, whether they are Christian or Jewish, right? Like, so that's a big thing they pretend about. Like,
are you saying Nala wasn't genuine? She didn't have a genuine conversion? Yeah, I was really Michael Knowles convinced me. He convinced me. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, she was just as genuine as Mia Khalifa. See, this is why women think men are stupid, right? Because because women lie 24/7, and the men just believe all women all the time, and the girls are like, oh my gosh, I'm clearly lying. I'm clearly manipulating. You're believing me. Oh, okay. That means you're stupid then. All right. I guess we'll keep manipulating you as long as you let us. So women are going to keep playing this game until men decide that it's not a good thing to be a submissive beta simp. It's not a good thing to be enslaved and oppressed. And so until men get together and stand up for themselves and say no and actually unify, women are much more unified than men. That's a big problem amongst men. We're not nearly as unified. We're too independent, right? And women have a hive mind, so they're unified all the time, all together. That's where their power comes from, unifying together, and they terrorize every single man in their own home until they get their way. So women are terrorists, So
you know what? I actually think that men. I think the simp bubble is popping. I think men have been given too much info. You don't think so at all? I think
no.
I think in the next 5 years, you're gonna see women being able to extract significantly less resources from men without giving sex. I think they're gonna have to prostitute or escort in the future, because men are wising up. They're talking to each other with the internet, and that chick made you wait 90 days and she was fucking you the whole time. They're wising up, and they're women aren't gonna be able to get away with this shit anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So, feminism, 64 years of saying in the 60s and 70s, so we're not a sex object. We want you to take us seriously. We're all smart in our brains and everything. We're so strong. And women's favorite industry is the sex industry. I want to make all kinds of money because I'm so pretty or I'm so sexy. Like they go online, they just take off their clothes. Everyone worship
That's
me.
so
Oh no,
true.
I'm really smart. Like like women love being sex objects. Like that's their favorite pastime. Like whether it goes from like the top
Mm.
OnlyFans earner, whether it's a porn star, or whether it's your typical Instagram thought. Like being a sex object is their number one goal. That's another thing they pretend about, like not wanting but actually wanting.
Oh,
You know.
you know what else we pretend?
So
Like these female managers aren't fucking the guys below them. No, I'm serious. Like they always screw someone
yeah,
at work. That's
yeah,
one. And two, like they're actually good managers. Like
yeah,
I
exactly.
worked at a sales company and it was, oh my gosh. I actually I didn't have a problem with like yeah, I did like the people there overall, but I mean, the male managers were way better than the female. I felt so bad for the other branches because my branch had a male manager and theirs had a female. I'm like, no, it couldn't be me. You have to deal with those hormones every day. And women agree. Women don't even like working for women.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. My my last long term relationship, like she complained about this every single day. She's like the only good boss that she had was a man, and she would complain about how like the women it was such a toxic environment, and the women were treating her like shit, and like how horrible the environment was. Yeah, every single day she complained about it. Absolutely. I just shared a couple posts on Facebook actually, like so like the female guards were having a bunch of sex with like the male inmates and there's like a news story every single day of female teachers having sex with underage boys. Oh my God. And the women are so spiritual, they would never do anything sexually inappropriate. The men are just pigs and animals and dogs. They're the only one interested in sex. You know.
Well,
Like, and what's the first thing? Okay, oh, this here's a good
yeah,
one.
go
Like
ahead.
with the sex object thing, I'm not a sex object. Oh, you incels, you're worthless because you're not having enough sex with women. So a man's only value is how many women and how hot they are that he's having sex with. I thought we were supposed to value for our brains, like So like they're just gonna keep like going through the sign language, right? Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Kevin Samuels, right? One the French toast. Shout out. Poor guy. So a woman assassinated him. Like poisoned him. So they're just going to keep their. So they never argue the issue because they know they would lose, right? Just like the left, they know they would lose if you actually discuss the issue point by point. But see, fairness isn't their goal. So if we're hoping that we're going to change this in the voting booth, or if we're going to just philosophically persuade them in churches, it's not going to happen.
Never,
Absolutely not.
never.
Women, and here's the thing, guys. Women only submit to something superior to them, something with strength, right? They only submit to dominance. You're not going to submit to something equal or weaker to you. So if you're not expressing dominance, they're never going to submit to you. That's what they do. Oh, I want a nice little beta boy, and then they always go for the chats. No, they don't. They don't want to beta nice guy. Like when a nice guy, they look at it as weak. They're attracted to strength, right? So they're but they're going after the guys that like all the girls want those guys, so they have a constant rotation. Why would they marry you? You're average, like you're average, and they have like 100 of you. Like it's supply and demand type of thing. So here's the thing too: is the nice guys make the best husbands and fathers, right? And they all used to know that in the 50s and before. Right in the 60s, like, oh, we can have sex with everyone, and we can have an orgy all the time, and everything's going to work out fine. The guys will just marry us afterwards. Well, that's not happening, right? And unfortunately, like it's really biology too. So the only real social construct is feminism, right? There are no other social constructs out there except for feminism. Feminism is the biggest social construct out there. The day that if we have World War III or an economic collapse, feminism is over. Right, the time that we have to actually go to war, feminism is gone. Right, if we have a Great Depression, right, and we have $35 trillion of debt, so that's going to happen in a year now, and all the whole economy is based on manual labor. Feminism is over. At that point, it's like, oh my God, no, I didn't say I was equal. I would love to go back in the kitchen, the home, and have the easy job. You just do that hard one. Yeah, please do build the homes and do all the construction. Absolutely, you know.
You know what else? I'm really tired of playing pretend. I am so tired of women playing these like sweet, innocent. It's like they'll be 25. You're not innocent anymore. Like I'm not
Yeah,
trying to be
yeah, exactly.
rude, but I'm like, what? Like this
I'm
is just
25 and this man groomed me. I'm like,
Yeah.
at 25?
Yeah,
oh
they're
the
like,
trad.
they're like,
God, the trad women. That's what
yeah,
irritates me. It's not even that they're not trad. I mean most what women actually did the trad, like whatever. But my thing is I don't like the pretending. I don't like
Yeah.
you met your husband at 28 and you're trying to convince me you're a traditional woman and you're arguing with me in my ex comments
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because
most Republican feminists too,
because
and most.
you can't
Yeah,
admit either that men are smarter than you.
yep, exactly. Most Republicans and Christian are feminists.
Yeah.
100%. Like they don't care like what the book actually says. They don't care what God says. They don't care what the authors say. They care about what our culture is right
I
now.
don't even know what they're
So
conserving. We're conservative.
yeah, Republicans have completely failed. They
Conserved
haven't
anything.
conserved shit. Exactly. Conservatives have been a complete failure. And yeah,
One problem I have with the trad cons is, there are some women that are doing it slightly better than others, and honestly, the bar is so low. So we're like, oh my god, a woman is evil, yay! But like, the bar is so low. So like, a lot of the trad cons will say, women, you should do this because it will benefit you. It will benefit you.
not because
It
it's the
will
right thing
benefit
to
you.
do.
Not
Yeah.
because exactly it's the right thing to do.
Or it's good
This
for
is
him.
what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are called to do. These
Yeah.
are your obligations as a woman. You profess to be biblical, or not biblical, biblical affiliates, just want to kind of rub elbows with the Bible to virtue signal. You know, it's just in order to get what you want. And women see men as a means to an ends, and I find it, and we find it absolutely repulsive. And the guys, and you often talk about how men just can't stomach this truth, and they just don't want to think that their wife is just using them as a means to an end because it's so numbing and depressing. And women should not be expecting anything. Like, they have these lists of expectations, and honestly, guys, the more a woman expects, the more she tells you she wants, she should just be enthralled that you're in her company, that you're giving her the time of day. If that's not enough for her, that's the end of the conversation. Because men offer such a soothing comfort to women, but you have to dominate her too. Because if you let her run wild, hog wild, and she's just having tantrums and rants and is an emotional roller coaster, then she's like, oh, he can't even protect me from myself. He can't even dominate me. How's he going to dominate anybody else to protect me? So, like, women, like we always say, they're constantly shit dusting you. And by the way, this is my husband Joel, and I'm Leor, for anybody who didn't know our names.
You got a YouTube channel, Western Culture Through God's Eyes.
And we talk about this all the time. The physical reality we're in. Women are like, oh no, like, our spirits are equal. Our spirits are equal. Like,
Oh,
sure.
freaking. I hate that. What does that mean? Like,
It means that you have an eternal soul like a man, but you're navigating a female vessel. You have completely different, like, for guys to understand it, it's like a simulation. You're like in a video game. And this is your character. And these are the movements you have to go through in order to succeed and make it to the next level. You don't do it. You don't get to the next level.
Well,
women have different roles and guys have different roles.
or divine femininity. Like, what does that even mean? It's like,
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
this. I hear this all the time,
Yeah.
and this is where they started to get annoyed with me. Some of the trad women, because I'm like, every time I hear femininity or like women that talk about femininity, none of them could define it. None of them could really give me specific, like, they would say, oh, I wasn't feminine and then I became feminine. And I would want to know, like, what did you do to become feminine? Like, what, like, let's just say maybe you're argumentative. What were the steps, like the specific steps you took to because if you actually overcome something, you could say, okay, when I want to argue, this is what I do. I never got that. And when I defined femininity, all I could think of when I think of someone that's super feminine is selflessness. That's it. That's all I could think of. Because when I think of like, let's say a grandmother, great grandmother who is super feminine, it wasn't fashion. It wasn't these dresses. I mean, that helps, but the core was selflessness and serving her family. But they never said that. It was always dresses and makeup.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's just a dress. I don't want a dress. What more do you need?
Another thing that really ticks me off is, like, every time that like you're having a conversation, we're having a conversation, like, oh well, sure, the wife should submit, but but only if her man is submitting to Christ, and she's the arbiter of that. Exactly. And then she's determined if he's submitting to Christ or not. But then he has to give himself like Christ gave him for himself. He has to die for her, and then he has to slave and serve for her. So therefore, in so facto, he's submissive to her. Actually, that's how that works. Okay, so all right. A woman obeying her husband is not conditional on if he's biblical enough. All right. So like, first of all, we have matriarchy all across Christianity and Judaism, right? So so there's that. The people that have the most submissive wives are the Muslims. They aren't biblical at all. And so, and do men hold that standard for women? Oh, unless she's biblical enough, I'm not going to love her. Not going to love her at all unless she's biblical enough. Okay, so if you don't believe in the Bible, the men don't have to love the wives because the wives aren't biblical enough. What the French toast? Like, no, you're just required. You're just required to do that because that's how it works. That's the only way the system works. It doesn't, for all of history, right? For 6,000 years, regardless of continent, regardless of belief, patriarchy is the only game in town because that's how the vessels are designed. By God, like only game in town until the last 64 years, until we had a social construct of feminism. Completely artificially created and propped up and supported by men. As soon as men stop playing along, it's over.
Yeah.
So women are never going to change it, by the way, man. It's going to be you or nobody. So
well, and the other thing is we have to play these trad cucks. They just annoy me. I'm like, okay, let's see. You live where you live where she wants. You do what she wants. All of the success of your family is because of her. Everything's her. But somehow you're leading? How? And I was thinking, I'm like, how can a man submit to God if he's submitting to his wife? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So you have these pastors preaching when they clearly follow their wife. How does that make sense?
Exactly. In fact, you can't be submissive to God unless you're submissive to your husband because God told you to do that. Like,
Michael Knowles on your interview said, not your interview, excuse me. By the way, he did you so dirty in that he would have never even known about Nala or had him on his show. Yeah. It was an act of spite, and and he's gonna regret that one day. Just saying, but he said on that interview with her, and it was quite cringe. Indeed.
Michael Knowles is a blue pill beta sim. He
was like, if it weren't for my wife, I wouldn't be able to feed myself, and none of the bills would be paid, and I wouldn't even know how to handle small children. They're just like terrorists. I wouldn't know what to do with them. Like they would run all over me. I'm like, dude, pander harder. Like pander harder, man. You're a freaking. He's probably has $1 million, millionaire. It's just.
I mean, Google. I mean, I'm not trying to you can YouTube anything these days.
Yeah, guys.
It's even if you know nothing, you can Google it. There's no one you could. Don't you live in a trad community? There's no one you could ask. Nobody.
And talk about playing pretend.
Another thing too, nobody in our community, nobody would think, period, regardless of your beliefs, that men could be bad to women and still be in good standing with God. But right now, we think that women can be bad to men and still be in good standing with God.
That's a good point.
Could you literally mistreat women and then be like, oh, does it matter? I believe in Jesus. Doesn't matter. I torture and kill as many women as I want, but I believe in Jesus, so I'm saved.
Nice accent.
Exactly. So all women and all men know that men have an obligation to be good to women, right? But nobody's talking about how women have an obligation to be good for men. And that's why patriarchy is so important. Like men with their power, they look out for the welfare of women. Women with their power, they don't look out for the welfare of men. They're looking like, oh, awesome, this is great. I got slaves now. This is fantastic. Let's see how much more benefit I can get. They're not benevolent with their power. That's why matriarchy is a disaster for everyone, man, woman, and child.
Well, and that's why these politicians got to stop pandering. I keep seeing these trad whores, basically, these ex-hoes, and they're like, oh, the men aren't being nice enough to us in politics. And I'm like, then get out of politics. People are mean to me on the internet every freaking day. I don't cry because, this is awesome. Freaking A. And I'm like, don't cry about it. Either get off the, either get in, if you're in the paint, then be in the paint like a man. And if you can't take it, then stop crying to me and stop telling men to pander to women and appease us because obviously none of your baby daddies could appease you. So that doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest lie that the West ever sold, that women ever sold the Western world, is that women are equal. Biggest lie ever sold. They're neither physically nor mentally nor emotionally equal.
Oh, emotionally, that's
So
a good one.
why can't, yeah, exactly. Why can you hit a guy but you can't hit a girl? Because they're not equal. They're physically weaker. That's why. Why is the biggest insult you can give to a man, you're a woman, you're a woman, you're acting like a woman, you look like a woman? Why is that an insult, not a compliment? Because
But it's
they're
but it's kind
not
of a
equal.
compliment if a
Yeah.
woman acts like a man. It kind like it's not a
Right.
complete
Exactly.
compliment, but
Yeah.
it's
Because
Yeah.
like
they
Yeah.
know they're superior.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
more of
Yeah.
a compliment if
So
you tell a woman that she's acting like a man than if a man is acting like a woman. Go ahead.
no, you're off, bro. Like, no. Another thing too is it insulting or is it discrimination to say that babies are inferior to women?
No.
No one would think it is though. But based on though the current nomenclature though, the current sociopathy, it would be right. Oh my gosh, you're discriminating against babies. How dare you not give those babies rights? Let's have a baby equality a movement right now where babies are equal to women, right? Exactly, and babies should have the same freedoms and privileges and power that women do. Women have done nothing but oppress babies throughout all of history. They've oppressed them. They weren't protecting, providing them. They were oppressing them. That's all they were doing. They were oppressing with their power. We need to have a movement for baby equality, for baby empowerment. Let's empower babies.
Yeah.
They think you as insane. You're like, what are you talking about? A woman is physically, mentally, and emotionally superior to a baby.
Yeah.
That's not discrimination. That's just how it works. That's just what God created. What are you talking about? And like, yeah, and it works the same way with men and women too.
And,
You know,
and the
and
women
so
and the women get so mad because they're losing control of their husbands. Because men are actually like smart. So if they hear information that makes sense, they're like, oh, yeah, why am I listening to my wife? Oh, yeah, why do I have to ask my oh, why is the house decorated the way she wants? Because they've been told the same thing when they're kids, but men actually like have like logic in them. We're just idiots, so we don't. And so it's like you see like the men like the wheels starting to turn, and you see the women getting so mad. They're like, no, my power, no, because if all the men
exactly.
realized this, we would lose all our power.
Exactly. It's power. Exactly. They always had the privilege, and now it's just about power. They want to have total power. They don't want to share any of the power with men. Exactly.
Yeah.
A small little example. We're gonna make a video about this. Here in the near future is like toilet seat terrorists. Right. Spoiler alert. Right. Okay, so my whole life I was told like when they require you to put the toilet seat down, right? I thought they were talking about the entire lid, which actually makes sense. It's sanitary, you can sit on it. No, they're just talking about the seat, right? They're just doing it because they want to control you and it's more convenient for them, right? It actually makes more sense to either close the entire thing for sanitation purposes or to sit on it, the whole lid, right? Or leave the whole thing up because then if you pee, you don't pee on the seat, right? Guys, if the one requires you to leave the seat down, just piss all over it. That will change that real quick. They just wanted to control you. That's all it was. It's actually easier to put the seat down once it's up than actually to put it down once it's up. And they're so big on that. They feature that in movies and everything. Oh my gosh, man can't put the seat down. Bitch, the lid goes down or you leave the whole thing up.
Three cinematic references. Three cinematic references of women saying, "Oh well, I hope your wife trained you to put the seat down."
Exactly.
And the guys were like, "I hope so too." Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Or even like chores, like women are so, oh no, I have to do chores after work. And I'm like, okay, number one, men have made it so easy. We have Roombas now, we have air fry. Like, it is the easiest time to cook and clean. Like, it is, we have laundry. I used to watch, like, I want to do a video where I visit some Amish people because I would watch what the women used to have to do to just do laundry. I'm like, that blows. Like, I would not want to do that. And I'm like, this is the easiest time. And they never consider the things the men do, like fix things. Like the taking care of the lawn, there's or fixing the car, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like they only consider the stuff women do. I'm like, what? And the stuff guys do is way harder. I think it's way harder to fix a car than to use an air fryer. Like, or an
Can you
oven.
imagine? Exactly. Could you imagine how offended like all women would be if men took credit for all women's success, right? So only in recent feminists sometimes like a woman has a success, you're like, actually, no, behind every successful woman is actually even a more successful man. Actually, all the credit goes to her husband. They would lose their ever loving mind they would absolutely lose it. Like men were just being gracious. It never was true. Like, women can be supportive and loving at home. Sure, that's wonderful. Every guy wants that. But you're gonna tell me that something that a woman wasn't even involved in, that she gets all the credit? Oh, it's not Elon Musk. It's his wife. It's his wife. His wife did all of that. It wasn't him. He did. His wife did PayPal. His wife did SpaceX. His wife did everything. You see when they Bill Gates. Oh, it wasn't Bill Gates that did Windows, right? It was all his wife. His wife did all of that. No. The only thing his wife did was take half his money in the divorce, right? And same thing with Jeff Bezos. So men get wealthy because they build businesses, etc. Women get wealthy because they divorce. That the wealthiest women in the world, they took it in a divorce.
Well,
yay, feminism! Yay!
And the funny thing is, when I found that whenever there's a successful woman, there's always a catch. Like there's always even I'm pretty sure Curry. I was taught like Madame Curry. I think is one that they always something Curry. They always refer. I'd have to look, but she invented a lot of things. I think in the early 1900s, mid. And then I was talking to this historian, and he's like, yeah, she stopped inventing things after her husband died, and there was grants given to women. And there's always some catch, like it's a corporate woman where there's a job, or maybe she has like a dad, or there's always, so it's like it's always projection. Behind every successful woman, there's usually a successful man, but it's not the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Behind every strong man is a woman who stabbed him in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if not a bunch.
Even
exactly.
Even Ye and Kim Kardashian, she became a billionaire when she was with Ye, and some would argue that Ye is quite, crazy. So, so it's like even a crazy guy made her a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like in 2024 in the West, we think everyone's a unisex, right? Oh, it's all a social construct. If we didn't actually raise boys with blue and raise girls with pink and raise boys with trucks and girls with Darbies, no, they wouldn't have ever. They wouldn't have ever found that out. No, it's entirely biological, down to your very DNA, right? Every gene in the guy's body has X and Y, and every gene in the girl's body has X and X. And girls have a lot of testosterone or a lot of estrogen in their body, and men have more testosterone in their body. It's entirely biological. A boy, if you give him like little dolls or something, the boy will start like fighting the dolls together. They'll be engaging in warfare, right? For girls, you give them like warfare action figures together. They'll set them up and they'll have a tea party together.
Right.
It's entirely biological. It's not a social contract whatsoever. What's so crazy too? If you think that women are equal to men in any way, shape, or form, equal or better, you're either the stupidest human who's ever lived in all of history, or stupider than a brand new baby, or you're evil. Because it's obviously not true. So you're saying that for an agenda, right? A brand new baby, like before they were taught anything, they look up and they're like, oh, mom is not dad. Oh, gotcha. Oh, they're different. Oh, wow. Mom's all soft and frail and nurturing and a little bit unstable, but you're sweet. Dad's all big and strong and logical and smart. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Mom is not dad. So if you can't as a full-blown adult, if you don't even understand what a brand new baby knows, you're either extremely stupid, one of the stupidest people in all of history, you're stupider than a baby, or you're evil. And I think it's a combination of both, actually. So
what's funny? Women always act like we have to play pretend like being a mother is the hardest job on the planet. Like, really? Harder than an oil rig? Really? And my sister does it. Like, she works at a daycare, and she's like 19 and no skills, and she like literally they give her basically newborns like 6 weeks. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Oh my god, bro. It's so hard that literally every woman who's ever lived has done it, right? Literally 1 out of 2 humans, all 4 billion women are doing it, and it's the hardest job on the planet. It's so hard, everyone can do it. So don't question it.
I have a friend from home, and he ended up being a single dad. Like, he got custody of his kids, pretty rare, and he said he couldn't believe how easy parenting was. That's what he said. He's like, yeah, all the women told me this was so hard, and it was like the easiest thing. He's like, the kids, if they cry, it's like pretty, and he got the kids pretty young, like I think younger than 2. I know he had 2, 1 was younger. He was like, yeah, it was so easy.
Men are objectively, men are objectively better parents. The reason our culture is so shit right now, the reason why everyone's worse off than they've ever been, and we're noticing all these symptoms, is because we've exclusively had children raised by women for the last 64 years, right? Single mom, all-time high. I think 3 out of 4 people are raised by a single mom today. And then when they go to school, they're raised by a woman, right? So we've had nothing but women raising kids for 64 years, and we're worse off by every metric across the board. Objectively, the men are the better parents, and they act like the women own the kids because they came out of them. Like it's at least 50% his, but like they just think that the women own the kids. Oh, by the way, with their ownership, they kill them. You know, they kill them a third of the time, right? Through abortion. Oh, they're so loving and nurturing. They just make babies, even though they're so smart. They know where they come from, but they make them all the time anyway. And then they kill them. They're
And
still
we're
loving.
not
Oh my
even
God.
making
They're still loving.
we're not even making babies. Like I've been asking for because it's funny. I always say I came to these conclusions not even through religion. It was just looking at the world, and I was just like, guys, what are we better at? Like, can we list anything? And
Yeah.
the only thing
Yeah.
I could think of is manipulation. That is the only thing.
Yes.
and, I'm, and I'm like,
We were just
okay,
talking about that. Yeah.
yeah, guys, like, what are we better at? And I started looking, even after birth, we're the most likely ones to kill kids in the first year. Men never do infanticide. Never. Like it's like so rare that the police like they almost never look into a guy in the first year. So women still kill the kids even after birth, and yet we're told
Wow.
they're the more nurturing gender. They're the most likely ones to abuse
Right.
children.
Women are more violent.
Yeah.
We've only ever had violent altercations with women, each independently in our life experience. Only ever with women. And even police officers will tell you that lesbians have more domestic violence. And I think the reason fathers have an easier time raising kids is because what Joel said, you know, the babies inherently know what a man is and what a woman is. You literally have to like brainwash them. But the children are always asking questions, and they're psyching you out. They're like, does mom know the answer? Does dad know the answer? And of course, mothers almost never know the answer. And so they can psychologically like dominate the child, let alone physically as they grow up older. But like, they're just not a reasonable person. They're overly emotional. They say they're emotionally intelligent, another big pretend. Like they say they're emotionally intelligent. They're emotionally retarded. They can't tell what's going on. They can never, they're like, oh my God, were you saying something about me? I'm so sorry. I did this and this. And they create a situation in their mind. They're like, I'm just sitting here eating my lunch. Like, you know, they overthink tremendously, but they don't have any answers for children. They don't know how to discipline children. The reason kids have to lie to their mothers is because mothers are insanely punitive. They're overly punitive. They will totally overreact to a situation where their father, you know, they know that, oh man, dad's going to get mad, but at least it'll be like, there will be a ratio. It'll be proportional to my punishment. Mothers just lose their shit.
Well,
They just wreak
and
havoc.
especially with boys, mothers are overly controlling and they don't let kids make their own mistakes. Like I've just noticed with fathers, they tend to say, all right, these are the consequences. Like over a certain age, let's just say like 13, right? Like teenagers, you know, fathers will say, these are the consequences. Make your own decision if there's a you know, where women, it's like they try to control the kids so much that these boys hit 18, they've never made a decision in their life. That is not good for a boy. You know, they're supposed to be they're supposed to be like rough, tough, you know, like you're supposed to, especially as a young boy, like you're supposed to make mistakes so you can make decisions.
Right. Yeah, the mom exactly. The mom's like natural design, you know, really comes in from 0 to 4 when they're babies, and the dad is more important from 5 on out. Absolutely, because women like they're really good at that little baby stage, and they just can't get out of that. Right. Men are really good at allowing you know, kids to transition from being a baby to a toddler to an adolescent to a teenager, right, to an adult. Women don't. They hate it more and more as it gets older. They're like, I want to make another baby. I like that stage. I just want to be a baby forever, right? So yeah, men are much better at that progression.
Well, and I've talked to so many like guys about this, just how hard it was when they have an overly controlling mother. Like that's really tough on a boy. And there's so many boys like raised like that nowadays.
Yeah. Check this out, bro. Like, we're totally from different backgrounds. So, and in fact, we were both essentially feminists before each other. Like, I was essentially some version of a feminist until before Lior, and I'm like, this has been a disaster. It's not working. Let me try patriarchy, and it's worked perfectly. You know, so I was raised as like a conservative Christian, and my mom was born in 1946. She's 77 years old.
No way.
And way back then, and they have a matriarchal home. Like my dad does all, he's a really sweet guy. He's too soft. He's too beta. He like does all, he made a lot of money. He made all the 1950s, did all the 1950s things he was supposed to do. and yet he still didn't get authority in the home. He's super soft to a fault, right? Her situation, totally opposite, same result. Matriarchy is a religion, right? So when you hear feminism, it's matriarchy, call it matriarchy. Gynocentrism and matriarchy, call it matriarchy. So like with Lior, she was raised by very leftist, atheist parents, matriarchal home. So we were raised in two completely different environments, the same matriarchy. It permeates, a cancer. It permeates everything. It kills everything.
Mm. Yeah, no, I I agree. Like, there's writings even from the 1800s of them talking about the same stuff. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. But thank you guys for calling in. I think I got to take the next caller, but you guys are a pleasure. So
absolutely.
call in whenever.
You too, Pearl. Awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to haters on X. They're all super.
They're all crazy people. The exes, not them. They're awesome. Guys, sorry, I get a little off topic. I'm sorry. They're smart people. I like them. You should go watch their channel. It's oh my God, I forgot it. Western culture through God's eyes. Okay, guys. Women, men, call in. What am I wrong about? What are women? I'm just going to reiterate what I said earlier. That women, we're playing pretend in society. By the way, guys, please sign up for our memberships. They're never giving me monetization back. I just don't. Blessing thinks that we have hope. I don't. Right, Blessing?
YouTube, help a brother out, man. Don't worry, YouTube is gonna help me out.
No. Sign up for Uscreen so we can be YouTube free.
Yeah, go and sign up for DustyNetwork.com.
Yeah, so jobs we don't deserve, influence we don't deserve, more importance to their husband's success than we think, entrepreneurship awards we don't deserve, scholarships we don't deserve, attention we don't deserve, athletic leagues that should not exist. We think we're better in bed than we are. We pretend our feelings are rational. We are pretending like these OnlyFans chicks are truly God-fearing women, faking innocence and purity, makeup filters and plastic surgery is playing pretend, women's empowerment is playing pretend, and they wanting a guy that we really want, a guy that's hot and strong, none of this good moral spiritual guy bullshit. Did I miss anything, Blessing?
Nah, you got it.
Okay, so let me know, from the women, where am I wrong? From the men, I want to know, when is the first time you lied to a woman? When is the first time you played pretend? Yeah. And I need to see your faces, guys. No weird stuff.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Where are you at?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. And what do you do?
Well, I work as an administrative assistant
Oh, cool.
for a medical office.
Awesome. When is the first time you had to play pretend with a woman?
Probably when I developed emotions of attraction in like middle school, before I actually listened to my own natural logic and not what I was hearing in school. So if you like a girl, you're going to pretend to be nice, and you're going to say things that she wants to hear. So
what would you say? Like, what was the lie? What was the playing pretend?
Well, if she said something that wasn't funny, right? I would just laugh, even though it wasn't funny. Like, I'd pretend to laugh, and yeah, things like that.
Have you seen female comedians where it's like none of them are funny? I'm
gonna be honest, right? Some of them, right? Like if you crack 100 jokes, of course some of them are gonna be funny. So, but obviously compared to men, no, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those jokes were not from them. Like it was probably written by men.
Right.
But like I just want to say, like, the truth is the people that are at fault, it's really not women. The people that are at fault, it's 1,000 billion% men. Because the truth is, women aren't the gatekeepers of anything. Men, any power, right, that a woman has, it was a man that gave her that power. Like they can't do anything without a man's permission. Anything. So the truth is, what we as men are getting today in the Western part of the world it's really our fault. Like, if you give a woman the right to divorce you, right?
Right.
She takes that right to divorce you. Why are you mad? You gave her the right to divorce you. And then, like, one last thing.
So
Because I thought,
what does the average man have anything to do with family court if he's not in politics? Like, how is that his fault if he wasn't involved in passing that?
all right, I'm gonna be honest. This is probably gonna be very, very, like, politically incorrect, right?
That's fine. It's a
But
politically incorrect show.
yeah, but you know what? The documentaries on war, on how society was built, what made this country, what made the United States actually the United States, right? Were men that were disgruntled with the system, right? And it was taxes. That was what caused men to make this country the United States. It was taxation without representation. That was it. And they said, listen, they didn't just respect the higher power of men. They said, listen, we're not taking this. We're going to war. And you know what? The truth is this, because I thought about this. I'm very, very religious, Christian. And you know what? The truth is, a man's position, what makes a man the leader really, is he's willing to fight and die, right? In order for him to have his way, for him to have what he believes. If a man is not willing to fight and die, right, he's not truly living up to his cause as a leader. And if men, the majority of men, because the truth is the majority of men don't work in family court. If the majority of men say, listen, we're not having this anymore. If the police force that were like, listen, we don't want to use our power to do this. This is garbage. This is affecting us. If the military said, listen, we don't want to defend any of this garbage anymore, this would change so fast, you know? And I actually really thought about this, because the truth is no man in his right mind would ever want to relinquish control over the object of his desire. Because I'd be thinking, what would cause men to just give all this independence? And it came back to this: money. Because look, let's say women did not have rights over their own bodies, like it's been for the past thousands of years. The woman's body belonged to the man. Like they say, your body, your choice. It's actually your body, his rib. Because the woman is the rib of a man. And that's how it's been for all of time, except for the past 100 years. Now I realize, you know what? If a woman has no power over her body, the father picks the husband for her, right? Or men pick who her husband's gonna be, right? Or men decide within themselves, all right, I'm gonna pay, like, whoever decides to get her gets her, right? And it's up to them whether the woman leaves or not, right? How much money is he really gonna spend on the woman? Nowhere close to as much as if the woman has the right to deny the man, or if she has the right to leave the man after he's gotten her. And so this woman's right has made so many of the men on top rich. It's not even funny. Because the sex drive sells tremendously. So they give women the right to say no, not really because they actually care about women. It's actually because they know that when they have the right to say no, all it's going to do is just make a man pay whatever he has to pay in some way, whether it's paying to be on dating shows, paying to learn how to date, paying to get new clothes, getting a degree so the woman is impressed, right? Or just paying straight for the woman.
But wouldn't you say that most men have nothing to do with that? That's a small, like, so if we're gonna I guess go the blame game and you say it's men's fault, I would argue that most men have nothing to do with it. And most men aren't gonna die for a country that hates them.
No, I didn't say die for the country.
Yeah.
I'm saying die for the women and the children. The man has responsibility over his wife and his children.
But
and if the country is taking away his power over his wife and his kids, he is in the wrong if he's not willing to fight to take back control over his wife and his kids. He's wrong.
Well, I guess my pushback would be how would he do that? How would the average man do that? So if the woman says I'm leaving and the country says, okay, here's child support and alimony, we're taking it out of his paycheck, what is he supposed to do?
the exact same way every war in history that common men have started have begun. They didn't like, they spoke, they saw the injustice, they formed pacts, and they said, listen, we got to do something. That's how it is. And that's why until the average man decides, listen, the people that are running the government are not angels.
Yeah.
These people are men just like us. It comes down to what it is in high school or what it is in middle school. I'm getting bullied. He's taking my lunch money. He's taking my wife. He's taking my kids. He's trying to indoctrinate my kids with the trans agenda, and he's trying to indoctrinate my wife to rebel against me. I'm not going to take that from that bully anymore. You know what? Let's join together and fight. And that's how it's been for history. Like, men went to war over 1/10 of what we're tolerating now. High taxes, if I would argue that men will pay all the taxes in the world to have their wife and their kids back under their authority. But instead, we're just complaining about it. And the truth is, that's why God's allowing this to happen, because God has called men not just to speak, but to be willing to fight. And it's true. God's such a fair God that it's so crazy that the evil men, they were willing to fight for their evil. But the so-called Christian good men, right? They've been indoctrinated with turn the other cheek to forget that Jesus said that, he said, if you get slapped on this cheek, turn. He didn't say keep turning. He didn't say keep turning, but they've been indoctrinated to keep turning. And this is what God's going to do. He's going to keep allowing men to be oppressed until they can't take it anymore and they finally fight. Because it's just a law, a universal law, that freedom and authority is not given, it's taken. And until men decide to take it back, it's never going to change.
Right.
You know?
Are you going to start it?
Let's say I was going to start it, right? Would I say that on a live YouTube channel?
People have said,
but someone's going to. Someone's going to.
People have said crazier things on. I mean, people have committed crimes on live.
That is not a smart conspiracist right there.
Yeah.
You know, but someone's going to. When you read the Bible, this is how it works. It's either an enemy nation is going to fight. Like, if a nation goes against God, there's two things that are going to happen. It's either an enemy nation is going to fight this nation, or the righteous men are going to fight this nation. But some man will rise up eventually and fight and change things, because this is not the first time matriarchy has taken place. Right. It's taken place before, but we don't hear about it. Why? Because it doesn't last long. It's not going to last long. It's going to end real soon. You know?
Well, thank you very much for calling in.
No problem. No problem. God bless.
You too. All right. Who's next? What'd you guys think? Let me know in the chat. According to the Bible, men's authority are given by God. They gave up their authority. They allow women to treat them badly. They are still responsible for their actions. Aaron says Christ is king, but 90% of what you were saying ain't it, bro. We are fighting. You're talking. Yeah, you're going to bring up the next person. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi. What's your name?
My name is Christian, and I'm happy to talk to you. I'm 26 in Texas.
Okay, nice. So when is the first time you had to play pretend with a woman?
Agreeing with my mom.
What were you agreeing with her for?
Oh, it happened so many times. I lived with mostly women growing up, which I kind of regret now. But countless, like what that smart couple said earlier, moms do freak out a lot more. So
what would she?
I learned at a very young age.
Like, what? I'm just curious specifics. Like, what did you lie about? Like, what did you play pretend?
That I liked the food I was eating. I thought she was handling things right. I would get in trouble for school, and I didn't really think it was my fault. And But if a teacher called her, she'd freak out and wouldn't listen to me. So I had to accept that. And that only transferred to every girl I tried dating. For sure.
And
Whether it's about what they're wearing, fucking a show they like, music they like, songs they like.
you'd
fair feelings.
you'd pretend you liked it or what?
That I cared. Yeah.
What percent of women talking do you think like men care about?
Nah. Most no.
Nothing.
I thought this growing up. I think most people are boring, but women take the cake. Not you though. You're pretty sick. But yeah. And I've been in the dating game for a while, and it's all like what you said, playing pretend. And I kind of reeled back from it because I got tired of playing pretend so much with them. Just
why do you think it's so common to play pretend with women?
because one is I guess men wanting to have sex so bad, they feel like that's the only way they can have it. The culture around us today, just all, either believe all women or you're nothing without a woman, and shit like that. Everything in media, being lonely and feeling desperate. I would say that I've done that before. Definitely a victim of that. Not realizing your self-worth, things like that.
Right. Well, thank you very much for calling in.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's do like one or two more. They say because they get upset. I might have a whiteboard presentation at the end of this. Is there any girls that came up or no? Ladies, you've had so much to say. Chicas on X that watch me 24/7. You're in all of my replies, all of my comments, bitching about me 24/7. And none of you show up. Not you, sorry. Hello, what's your name?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your name?
Winston. I'm Winston. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 39.
And I hear British accent?
Yeah, I'm from Southeast London. I actually met you in at the event that you did at London Bridge one time.
Yeah, I was about to say you look familiar. So why do you think when is the first time you had to play pretend for a woman?
It's so many times. Like you just go back in your life and you just think like when you was a teenager, there were certain times because I never kind of grew up with women. Like obviously I had my mum, but I was in all boys schools until the age of 16. So then when you first meet women, then you're like, okay, cool. How do I kind of navigate your feelings? How do I make you feel good about yourself? And, it's all quite a unique experience because unless you grew up with them from a young age, you don't understand a lot of the way. So, you start lying, you start saying certain things that you want to spend time with them, but you don't really realize you don't really like them as much as you think you do.
What do you mean you don't want to spend time with them? Like the girl you dated or something?
Yeah, so it's like think of it this way, yeah. Like when you hang out with your boys, you can just like say whatever you like. But then, if you say whatever you like to a girl that you're dating or any type of woman whatsoever, you got to be very careful because they can bring it back against you. They're like, oh, well, this made me feel bad, and they always bring it back to themselves. So no matter what you say, even if you have an issue, they always bring it back to themselves. And, it's not as enjoyable when you're a man, like, kind of growing up. It's like, you're just annoying me. So sometimes you just want to just hang out with your boys and just kind of chill out with them, really.
What are examples of annoying ways that women use things against men?
So the main thing that I would say would be, if you speak to them, like, in a in a masculine way. So let's say, for instance, you might just have a joke or you might have a bit of a laugh and you're like, okay, cool. Even if you're going to be friends with them, they just use certain things against you all the time. So it's like, it's really hard for me to kind of say, like, when I say annoying, it's like sometimes you just want to just talk and you don't want to be thinking, if I say this, will this upset her? If I say that, will that upset her? Would I, if I give my real views, it's kind of like, with the whole Trump thing, like they don't really like, when they talk about a hive mind, they're always talking about this is, they don't really want to break barriers or break tensions, so they don't really have a personality of their own because they don't want to upset other women because they kind of see everybody as equal. While men, we always put ourselves kind of like hierarchy. Like I always like on Facebook one time I saw one of my old teachers from secondary school, and we still refer to him as Mr. Bentinck, and we still refer to him as Sir. We'd never ever be like, oh, he's my equal, he's my peer. It would always be, I'm his submissive, I'm his subordinate, regardless of age. So I'm 39 now. I haven't seen him since I was 16. I could be 116 and I'll still call him Mr. Bentinck. I'll still like acknowledge that he's my superior.
What do you do for a living?
So I'm in cloud computing. I worked in IT for the last 6 years. Before that I was in sales, before that I was in retail. So I do quite a lot of, I'm trying to get higher level now. I'm actually trying to become a CTO or a chief, either a chief technical officer or chief artificial intelligence officer. That's what my plan is for the next 2 to 3 years.
In cloud computing, that's got to be mostly men. That's like a real job.
Yeah, they did a huge push. It's funny because I'm actually trying to get my little sister into it as well because there's a lot of men that go into cloud computing, but they're now trying to like do a lot more push for the women. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I find that happens with a lot of the women as well is that especially in technology. So I've got a bit of a theory of what's happening in tech. I don't know if you've seen all the redundancies that are happening right now.
Yeah.
So what I think that's happening is with tech, they have to kind of pay the women around about the same what they pay the men. And one of the issues they have with that is that because they're paying the women, let's say, for instance, you have 2 people. Let's say I get a job that's 100K. Mm-hmm. Because of the DEI now, you now have to get a woman that's also on 100K.
Right.
But they won't make them a 100K job. They'll get like, let's say a recruiter or someone in HR, and they'll say, look, here's a position in HR that's 100K, take that job. And during COVID, they were having a lot of more employees and they're putting all these fat wages, but they're not making any profit on these people. So I don't know if you saw on TikTok, there's like women that are coming out saying like, I'm on 180K and I haven't done any work in the last 6 months. That's because they need to have them there to like show that, okay, if a guy's on 180K, we need to have a woman that's also on 180K, but we don't care if she does any work because as long as she's on 180K, we won't get in trouble with all the investors.
So when you're at work, do you have to play pretend when there's women like they're actually doing things?
I can't say like that. Like,
what about maybe not at your current job, maybe like a previous job? You worked in sales too.
What I can talk about is my own personal performance. I used to be a top seller for every job I've been in. I've been the top seller, and one of the things that you do get is that they don't like the competitiveness of men. Like me being a top salesman is really intimidating for a lot of them because they can't handle it. And it can get quite stressful for them as well because you got to remember when you're in sales, you're bringing the lifeblood to the company. So like with myself, I don't have to make any apologies. Like me personally, I see myself when I'm a salesperson to be higher than the CEO because at the end of the day, I'm bringing direct money into the company. So it can get quite stressful for the ladies when they start doing certain things. And it can be quite intimidating, especially because you go into a man's world and you got to remember everyone's vying for that top spot. And a lot of them, they weren't raised to be as competitive as men. Even if they were raised to be competitive, it's like when you go up against a guy like me, it's not really a pretty thing. Like I'm not going to go and be like, oh, she can do just as good a job as me. It's not that. It's more, I'm looking to destroy every single person. So that's how it is in sales.
Yeah.
And I think you done sales yourself. You said you didn't really like your sales job, did you?
Nope. Not at all.
Because that's what it's like, isn't it? You just see, you get people on the phone, I've had people say the N-word at me on the phone. I've had I've had people say whatever kind of comments, but with myself, I always kind of like, got to grip my teeth and be like, I've got to get this cell, I've got to get this cell. Because at the end of the day, you know, when you get your PIP, it always comes where I want to be on top at all times. That's how I view my life. That's how I view things. And one thing I did want to say to you is that I see feminism nowadays as, I don't know, have you ever heard the term a Pyrrhic victory? Have you ever heard that term?
Mm-mm.
So if you Google it, Pyrrhic victory basically means there's times when you win and you win. And there's times when you win where you've lost so much that it might as well have been a loss.
Okay.
So one person, so someone just writes something a little bit silly. And so it's like with feminism, no matter how much you guys win, it will always be a substantial loss. So it's kind of like, oh, we got jobs now. Okay, cool. So now you guys can work 30, 40 hours a week. And they're like, oh, I don't really want to work that. I want to just be at home with the kids. I want to just do all these things with the kids. Or be like, I want to, I don't know, what else did they get with feminism? They said they got a whole load of things. And then, you know, it comes to it where essentially, no matter what happens with women with feminism, no matter how much they push you guys up, you can't ever win. So, like, my mom's 60, and I was talking to my mum yesterday. I said to my mum, one of the things you got women now boasting online is like, oh, I got an abortion. I was going to say that.
Yeah, you can.
So it's like you're boasting about that, and then it's like you haven't really proven anything, because, like, to men, it doesn't really affect us,
Right.
like unless it's the guy that you're getting rid of his kid. Like you can boast about that as much as you want. It doesn't affect me. You can be like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, we got all right. All feminism really is just them massacring their kids in their womb, having as many D's as possible, and just being as crazy. Because it's like, even when we speak to the OnlyFans girls, they haven't really done anything. Like, if you think about it, what have they really, really gained? Like, what progress? I know they talk about the voting side of things, but what progress have they made? In terms of, like, you want to be seen as equal to a man, but the thing is, men actually have less rights than women nowadays. Like, it's not like, oh, well, if I'm a woman, I can do this, I can do that. You can do that anyway. And like there's a myth that women never used to work. Like, I'll never understand that myth. Like, you know,
well, we used to
back in
work
the
on
old
farms.
days.
Like, it was way harder.
Yeah, exactly. Women used to work on farms. Women used to do all these things. Used to be nurses. Used to be teachers. Used to be childminders. Used to be, and like, there's this myth that women never worked. I'll never understand how women can actually believe that. They think that they never worked for.
I think their job in human resources is harder than, like, working on a farm. Okay.
No, but this is what's going to start happening. You're going to start seeing, because now it's there was a guy the other day where this woman was getting robbed for her phone, and all the men didn't react.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, where are the men? Where are the men? And I was like, bravo to the men. That's what I told my little brother. Like, unless it's your mum or your sister, like, maybe a woman you're dating, but then if she's not 100% loyal, just leave them. Don't do anything, because at the end of the day, something can happen to you, and that woman will forget about you within a week.
Yeah.
If my brother died defending a woman, his name wouldn't be remembered in a week from that woman. She don't want to come over. She might say, give condolences to my mum, maybe. But nowadays, I just say, you know what, screw it. Don't offer them any protection anymore, because, you know, unless your life's being, I value your life, but I know she's not going to value your life. And that's one of the main things. But how do you feel about modern women playing pretend? So right now, I'd say the problem that we have nowadays is that I think where women get gassed up quite a lot, they keep thinking that, oh yeah, we're better than men, we can do this, we can do that. And outside of their, you know, being born to have a kid, they don't really, you know, it's like, oh yeah, we can give birth to
We're not even having kids, so we're not even doing that.
Yeah, it's quite frightening. I heard a guy on FNF yesterday say that we're in a recession now because when our birth rates are too low now. You got to remember that we used to have, back in the day, we used to have loads of kids. Like, I'm one of 6, and I don't even have kids like nowadays. But the thing is now, I think it's too cheap to go on holiday. I think like now they see everyone, all their friends go on holiday and they have their whole fake Instagram lives and, you know, they look at all the other people. And one thing I realize about women is that with myself, I've worked a lot of jobs. So like I said, I'm looking to become C-level staff, CTO, Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer. But as I said, I worked in sales, I've worked in retail, I've worked as a street sweeper, I've worked as a dustbin man. And the one thing I always do, I compare myself to myself. I don't compare myself to other men because I know that other men haven't had my journey. You might have had a worse life than myself, or you might have had more privilege than myself. But one thing I notice with women is they always compare themselves to other women. And they always say to themselves, oh, well, she's doing this. And regardless of what it is, they never take responsibility for anything. That's the worst thing. Like you speak to them and you hear some stories, you're like, why didn't you just do this? Why didn't you just do that? Like, you know, you're a grown adult now. It's like when you hit a certain age, I'm expecting you to be a grown adult. I expect to be speaking to you like, you know, if you're, you know, you're what, 29, 20, 28?
27.
Oh, sorry, 27.
It's okay.
But when I speak to you, I'm expecting to speak to you like, oh, we don't have to agree on everything. Like when I speak to other men, I don't agree with everything that another man says, but we can sit down and be like, right, cool, I agree with you on A, B, C, and you might agree with me on D, E, F, and you might not agree with me on this point, you might not. But you know, it's a civil discord. Well, with them, it's like everything has to fit into their purview. And one of the things one of the reasons why I think women don't understand what leadership is. Leadership's quite lonely. Leadership by default means you have to be out in front and you got to be committed. So it's like when you were saying about your demonetization, you got to pay for staff. You know, I've run my company. Like, you know, it's scary when you have to pay for staff. And I'll never forget that. I was going to say to you, I'll never forget that time when you had Pixie on your podcast. And she's like, "Oh, you should sue that guy." And it's like, you want to sue a person, and like that's really upset. That really upset me because I said to myself.
She said what? What did she? I don't remember.
Oh, sorry. So Pixie,
I know
I think
Pixie
what happened. Yeah. So one time she was on your show and she said, "Oh, this girl was upset with a comment a guy said about women can't do something." And she's like, "Oh,
right, okay, yeah.
You should sue them." And I'm like, you don't understand, that you as a business person, you understand what it's like. You have to go out, you have to get business, you got to pay salaries, you got to pay pensions, you got to pay taxes, you got to make sure the person's got extra work, you got to make sure the person's okay, you got to make sure HR's there, health and safety. You got to do all these things, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
And then you apply for a job, you beat out all these other people, right? And then for you to go to someone and say, "Oh, I'm going to sue you," so you just want extra money out of them. What's that? That money's not going to make you feel any better about yourself. It's not
God.
like.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that pissed me off. Freaking A.
And
because I've been. Oh my God, because I've been sued before. Freaking. I mean, they didn't actually take me to court, but it's just like, freaking A. It's over nothing.
I saw the girl that was going to sue you because that's what happens. They all just want to play victim all the time. It's really tiring. I think that's the worst thing about them, which is. You always want to play victim, and then it's like, yeah, it's great to be like, oh yeah, you can sue them. And then what you don't understand is the next time you don't want to deal with another person because then you say to yourself, you know what, I should treat this person really well. You know, that person might have got and there was some workplace when you get sick, they'll still put you on full pay. You know, you do all these things for people, and then what then happens is people will just be like saying, you know what? I don't really want to deal with you because I actually watch your program quite a bit, and I was gonna say one other thing. One quote I did like. I know you, like she's not coming to your show anymore, but it was Esther, and she said one really good thing. I'll tell you the one good thing this girl said on your show. I tell you what she said. She goes, back in the day when men used to get married, we used to win because we got wives, and she goes, oh, and then we had the sexual revolution. So men get to have no strings attached sex. So men win again. I'm like, yeah, men try to tell you this, that we win regardless of what you try to do. If you want to give us no strings attached sex, we'll take it. Like, you know, you guys are the one that's losing. And like Kevin Sam used to say, winter's coming. And you got to remember, I'm looking on Instagram right now and I'm seeing all these women that are doing all these experiences and everything. And like with myself, I said to myself, shit, I'm 39 now. I'm going to be 40 next year. So I've had half my working life gone. right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got another 20 years of my life for me to save for my retirement, right? We're not going to have any pensions in 20 years' time. There's going to be no pensions, no state pensions. I'm seeing women go on holidays. They're doing all these things. They go on holidays. They're buying nice shoes, nice bags, nice purses, buying nice apartments, doing all these great things. But they're not forward thinking. They're not saying to themselves, what am I going to be doing in 20 years' time? Am I going to be putting the energy, the effort, the passion, the desire, the fight, the grind, the honor, the intensity, the integrity? They're not putting that into their lives. So what I'm seeing now is that you're going to start seeing it very soon. I think, you see what happens to Britney? Have you seen what's happened to Britney Spears?
Yeah, she's going crazy.
I'm telling you, that's going to be the vast majority of women, like, in the next, you're going to see it, man. It's not going to be pretty at all, man. I think it's going to be the most saddest thing that you're going to see in your life, which is these women going half insane. And she's there, man. And, like, you know, she had the whole conservatorship thing, and we were all like, yeah, free Britney.
I did not say free Britney. I did not say that. I did not know, because it's hard to get it. It's hard to get one of those. So I was like, I know this bitch must be crazy.
Because at first I said to myself, because I remember, like, we were all saying it because we're like, oh yeah, the dad's doing like all these bad things to her, and we said to ourselves, okay, maybe with Britney, she needs to change a few things. And then you just see her, and that's what's going to happen to all these Instagram and OnlyFans models, because they're making all the money now. So I was saying this to my mum the other day when it happened with Andrew Tate, and I think what happens is, you got to remember, there's a girl I want to speak to in my life. She blocked me for a couple of years, but I really want to go to her and say to her, at what age do you become like an adult? Do you say, I fucked up? Like, what age does that happen to women where you're like, you know what? I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done this. I did this badly. I should never have done that. Like, at what age do you guys do that? Because it gets concerning after a while. You know what I mean? Like, with a lot of the women, you're not taking a full responsibility for it. So with men, we get tired. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, am I rambling a bit?
a little bit, but
I do apologize.
No,
I was just going to say, like, you know, I just want to just be like, when will you take for, you know, because the reason why we pay for 10,
they want you to call her. Can you call her?
Do they want me to call her?
Yeah, you should call her on the live and ask her.
I haven't spoken to her. So what happened was, she blocked me for 2 years. My friend died, so she added me, but I don't really want to speak to her.
Do you want to send me your number? I can call her and ask.
Do I really want to do this on the internet?
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Let me just check the chats.
Yeah, send me the number. They want you. One in the chat if we should call her. What did she do? Did she, like, you used to date her or something?
No. So in essence, she wanted me to train up her son, but I just couldn't be bothered, because at the end of the day, her son was just too much hard work, and she got upset with it, and so she blocked me. And then a close friend of ours died, and then she added me, and then she wanted to speak to me again, and I just couldn't be bothered to talk to her. It's too much for me, because, you know, I'm working really hard in my life, and to be part of my life, you need to do certain things, but I don't really want to speak to her. She's
okay. So is that a no to the calling her? Is that a no? Is it a yes?
Let me are the chats on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Everyone's putting a 1.
1 second. One second.
Yeah, and I'll say I have. Can we make the call on the live? Is that possible, Blessing? We can all talk together. Would she answer? Do you think? Is she the type to answer? Crazy women tend to answer numbers they don't know, right? Isn't that a thing?
It's 11 o'clock at night. Nah, I like, man. So, like,
iPhone, we can make it happen.
What?
Call her now.
If she has an iPhone, we can make it
happen. Does she have an iPhone? Do you know?
Almost everyone probably does.
Yeah, she's an iPhone. So send the number. Are you on X or Instagram? Send me the number. Just go on Instagram, put Just Pearly Things Official, and then you can just DM it, and then we'll ask on the call. When do you plan on growing up?
So do you have your FaceTime signed up on the laptop?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah. You can just call it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's FaceTime her. So she like messed up. You said like
no. So like with myself, like so it wasn't just about her, but I've had a few women like that where you just want to just kind of like be like, when do you guys just take responsibility? When do you guys say, you know what? I kind of fucked up on a situation. It doesn't even have to be like a big thing, but it's always going to be,
Are we gonna get the number? Are we gonna you put it on speaker? Ask her. I mean, it's like, seize the day, now or never, right?
Oh shit! You know what? I actually deleted her number. I'm not lying.
How convenient. How convenient.
No. I'm not. I'll tell you what. I'm not bullshitting. Remember I said,
guys, one in the chat if he's bullshitting. One in the chat.
I'm not bullshitting.
One in the chat if he's bullshitting.
Like literally, I was going through my phone now.
There's a lot of ones in the chat, bro.
There's a lot of ones in the chat. They're not buying this.
I'm not
bullshitting.
I tell you why. I blocked her fucking no, she blocked me, so I deleted her number, and then she came back she came back on social media.
What's her social media? Maybe I could DM her. Send me her Insta.
Okay, cool.
Women love being on shows. So could you click this link?
What's that?
Who you texting? What's going on?
See, and that's how you guys know you're not bullshitting me, because I just sent you an Insta on your thing.
Okay, you sent me it on Instagram. Let's see. Oh, there you are. All right, let's see. What's her name?
Don't say her name.
I won't say it. Okay, I just need to type this.
Can you not call on Insta on the laptop as well?
Yeah, maybe. We're going to try it. But I don't know. I think she has to follow me back. But we're going to try it. We're going to see. This will be so fun. We can all chat.
You know the funniest thing is, it was the peer pressure that got to me as well.
No, this will be a lot of fun. We're here. I keep wanting to say that. Okay, there we go.
Are you back in London then?
Yes, I'm back in London for like 2 more days. All right.
Are you going back home to America?
For a little bit, and then I come back.
All right, cool.
It doesn't. Blessing, can you call these? All right.
I don't think you allow you, but send it the Zoom link.
Okay. Hello. What should my intro? Guys, can you put what my opener message should be? Guys, what should the opener message be? Hello, I heard you fucked up your life, period. I say this with no disrespect. Does that work, Blessing? We are on a talk show and would like to discuss this with you. Please kindly, I learned that from my assistant. She says that a lot. Please kindly. She's proper British.
Because she had me blocked for 2 years, and I asked her to apologize, and she didn't bother apologizing.
Kindly. Where's the Zoom link? Hold on, sir. I'm typing an important message. Guys, please sign up for these. If any women want me to interview your exes, I think that would be a fun show where I can interview them and ask why you fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, don't you guys want to know? Wouldn't it be nice to know why you fucked up? I mean, obviously, like, men are better than women, so it was definitely like it's definitely your fault, not his.
Whoever red pill is sucking mother.
I'll send you the Zoom link.
Oh, you sent me that. Wait, wait, what did you say?
I look at some of the chats.
All right, please kindly click this Zoom link so we can discuss. All right, guys, what do you think of this? I want a 1 in the chat if you like this idea. Oh, no, I sent it. Oh, well, okay. I was trying to put a space, but I guess. Hello, I heard you fucked up your life. I say this with no disrespect. We're on a talk show and would like to discuss this with you. Please kindly click the Zoom link so we can discuss. Let me see. Has she been active? She was active 34 minutes ago, but it looks like she's out and about. It looks like I mean, well, it's late on a Tuesday, lady. You should be at home. What are you doing? Give her a smiley face. Oh, okay, guys, you're right. I got to show her that I am not, okay. What kind of smiley face should I add, guys? Let's do a real, yeah, there we go. I don't want to show you guys her Instagram. Otherwise, I'd show you the message. Oh, I have to introduce myself. All right, let me add that. My name is Pearl, by the way, and I host the biggest YouTube call-in show. I'm going to over-exaggerate, in the world. I'm a woman. I got to. We'll see. All right. I'm going to see if she responds, guys. Okay, I need to remember again. So she messed up her life. What did she do? Attitude or something?
What do you mean, Andrew?
Like, what did she do again? I just want to, if she responds to me.
So after she blocked me for 2 years, she re-added me, and then she asked me to basically help a guy get into what I do for a living, because I make quite a good living for myself. I've won awards and things like that. And then I asked her, "Are you not going to apologize for like just blocking me and not giving me a reason why?" Didn't bother to explain anything, so I haven't really spoken to her.
Got it.
Since then.
Got it. And were you guys like romantically involved?
Nah.
I don't know. Look, it don't. Oh, she's a big chick. Okay, I'll ask her. So, feel free to watch the program. If we get her on, feel free to click the link again. All right, Winston.
Okay. Let me. Okay. Speak to someone else, and if she comes.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
This will be actually quite funny because I haven't spoken to her in like 2 years.
Yeah,
this will be the first time
we'll facilitate it. Well, I have. Should I say I have your friend Winston on the line?
It'll be good for Instagram. I know she knows Instagram.
Yeah. Very. It looks like.
Follow her as well. Yeah.
Oh, follow.
Yeah.
I only follow like 7 people. They deleted so now maybe she'll feel special. Okay, guys. All right, who's next? We got to go. Thank you, Winston. Very nice talking to you. All right. So I'm sure there's he's in disbelief. Well, I don't know. We'll see if she answers. I'm not going to be up here too much longer. Did any women join or no?
We have one, but hold on.
Okay. Hi, Blessing, is this true or false? Someone said high BMI is not as bad as tattoos, septum rings, and abortions. I don't know, guys. Being fat is like the gravest sin to men.
Tattoos and abortions for me.
The abortions would be worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. All right, who's next? There's a chick? Is it her?
Oh no, that's not her. No.
Okay, well, who's the chick?
I saw it in the chat. Oh, okay, actually, no. Hold on. I think we have you, Mrs. Zai. You coming up? All right, Pelt.
Who? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, could you put the phone down if you don't mind, just so we can see you? So it's a better angle.
Sure.
Oh, am I watching the right thing?
Yes. Okay, well, all right, I'm going to set the phone down.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Zai.
Sai, where are you at? You sound American.
I am. I'm in Long Island.
Oh, cool. So, am I wrong? Are we playing pretend with women?
Definitely playing pretend. Yes, definitely. I had to play pretend. Recently, I took an LPN class, and in the middle of class, I ended up having some issues with my car. So I had to ask some of my classmates for rides and things like that. And one of my classmates started dating this random guy. To put it short, he's a loser. And it was hard watching and not saying anything. But I've previously been in a position where I've tried to say things to friends or
Mm.
so-called friends and family, and it did not turn out well. So I just kept my mouth shut. But it's hard to watch, and it's pretty painful to watch. You can say that.
Oh, that's a good one to add. I didn't even think about that. Pretending that women are like your friends are making good dating choices.
Yes. It's um even with my mother, like it's just all around. It's
I'm gonna add that.
everywhere you turn, everywhere you look.
I'm adding that to my list. Pretending women make good dating choices.
Right.
And why do you think women get so angry at this information?
I think it's, if I can speak from personal experience, I think we get angry because deep down we know it's wrong, but it's just the fact of somebody telling us. Maybe it's just like, I don't know what it is that gets us so upset. For me, like when my husband does it, I'll speak now. Like currently, when my husband tries to tell me things, sometimes I get upset. But now I'm in a place where I can realize like the reality versus non-reality. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
how can I put this into better words? Like I used to go out, right? And I used to get drunk and have a good time and all these things. And I thought I looked one way, like I was having this grand time. But once I stepped out of that life, I realized how ridiculous I looked. And it just made me say to myself, like, I never want to do that again because I really thought I was having a good time. I really thought that people see me as like this ill chick and, she's pretty, she's young, and you make a fool of yourself. Like I know this one girl, she was a nice girl. She started doing Percocets, Xanax, things like that, and she still thinks she's normal. Like she still goes to places and walks into rooms like she's still that person. She's not. And I think for women, it's like that. Like they don't really know how they look versus like what's actually going on. Like I think they just can't distinguish. Like I really think it's Instagram because you live this fake life there and you try to bring it back to the real world and it's not real. Instagram is not real. Everybody's putting their best face on the internet and it's just not real life. And I feel like they take it into their worlds and now it's just a big confusion of what's real and what's fake. So
Mhm.
I think that they just get crossed in between.
And when you stopped going out as much, did women support you? Like your friends that you went out with, did they support the decision?
Not really, no. I even had like girls try to fight me. They try to say like, "Oh, you think you're better than them," or "You're changing, you're fake." I've gotten it all. It wasn't until I met my husband that I really started seeing things for what it really was.
Right.
I think you have to have somebody on the outside telling you because I'm telling you, I really thought I was in this world where I could just do whatever I wanted. Like I could make any decision I wanted to, any consequence. it didn't matter to me. Like it didn't matter who I hurt. Like it just was really self motivated. And when you start going through these things and you start changing, you try to tell the people around you, and like they don't look at it like, oh, she's changing, she's evolving. They look at it like, oh, she thinks she's better. Oh, look at her, she's trying to like pretend, she's trying to be fake, she's trying to be something she's not. And it's sad, really.
Hmm. And do you think you're in a better place now than your friends are that didn't make those decisions?
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. It's like time stands still almost for them. Like you're growing, changing, evolving, and learning so much about yourself, and they're literally doing the same things. Like you can go back to that same place and those same people will be right there waiting.
Right. And
Yeah.
do you have kids now, or you said you're married? How long have you been married for?
Yes. 5 years.
5 years. And you have how
And
many kids?
we have a 3-year-old son.
Okay. And do you think that having a son has it changed your perspective at all?
Most definitely. Like I said, I was really self-motivated. Everything really was about me, like what self-served me. And like I said, when my husband and my child stepped into my life, all of that changed.
Mm.
I feel like you have to have someone that cares enough as well, because if it's just you, like, because in the beginning I was like kind of like brainwashed still, like, you're still kind of like you have a foot in that world. And I was listening to people say like, oh, you don't have to stay with him, you don't have to take that, you can raise your son by yourself, your aunt has done it, your mom's done it, your grandmother's done it. But I look at their life and I'm like, so I'm not going to do that because I don't want the results that you had. I
Right.
really don't. And it was hard. It was so hard stepping into being, well, not too hard, because it was something like when I was growing up, I also noticed that I didn't do a lot of things that other girls did, like especially around guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that hard, but it still was hard because I'm somewhat programmed at this point. So him stepping in and being so masculine, so dominant, it was always what I wanted. It's always what I told myself I wanted. But when it was in front of me and it was happening, it was like, I got to take a step back. Like, this man is serious. And
Right.
I'm coming with all my bull crap. He's seen it before. You have to remember, these men, especially if he's a man of substance, he has dealt with many women. So he's seen this multiple times. So everything you're coming with, he's dealt with it before. So it's nothing brand new to him. So to him, it's just kind of like disrespectful, because it's like you're playing on my intelligence when I know what's going to come of this. I've seen this. I lived this from experience. And I'm trying to tell you, this is not it. So they definitely changed my life. Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes, I watch a lot of your stuff too. So
yeah.
you helped me in my growth.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy to hear
Yes,
that.
definitely.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Of course, no
Have
problem.
a good one. You know, 1 kid in 5 years feminist. All right, guys, can we can we she it's like it was like, oh, she grew. All right, she's kind of bait. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Red Pill. Brandon, the host can get it. What's up? Could we stop it? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Weird. All right. Graham Conway, depends on how fat. Let me see if this chick responded. All right, I wanted to do a whiteboard presentation. There's no other chicks that called in, right?
No, there's one more.
There's another chick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look at this. Hello. Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm great. Can you hear me well, Pearl?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, good, good. Because for some reason my regular computer didn't want to work today, so I had to change it.
You're fine. So are modern women playing pretend?
Oh, constantly, all the time. I used to do it with my mother too. I didn't want to upset her because when she was angry and mad, it was bad.
So what was the first time you lied to appease your mom?
I like anything, very small details about her dresses, like guys mentioned before, how she looked, what she said to dad, like how she behaved. It's not just my mom. I see it with other women too. It's just something in their nature. They can't help themselves. They always do it.
Yeah, and what do you think about the jobs? Like women having useless jobs? Do you think I'm right
Oh,
or
I
wrong about that?
agree.
Oh, you do agree. Okay.
I agree with you 100%. I think that, like, honestly, because women are not interested so much in actually mothering and caring for the families and children, they spend their time pursuing their careers, becoming strong, independent, and they don't really want to spend time with their kids either because they offload their kids on the public schools in most cases, and they're not even great mothers. Like you say during the show, I completely agree with you. I just came here to say hi to you.
No, it's like these women don't even like their kids, and we all have to pretend they're good moms. We have this huge spectacle for Mother's Day, and I'm like, what percent of moms are really good moms? I would say less than the majority. I would not put the majority as good mothers.
Absolutely. And I see this on social media because I analyze content that women post. And what fascinates me, I see it with fitness instructors, with other content creators. They say, I'm a fempreneur, or I'm a mother of 3, a mother of 5. Somehow they get more status, more validation for saying that they are mothers. When men, on the other hand, like how many men do you see doing this stuff on social media? I'm a father. I'm a provider.
I have
I
never,
do
that is
all
such
of
a
this.
good point. I've never thought of that. That is such a good point.
Yeah, this always just cracks me. I just start laughing because come on, ladies, you know that you can do better. You should do better than that. Than just aiming, getting credit for somebody else's work and yeah, asking for more attention because it all evolves around attention. How much attention, how much clout they can get, how much money they can get. And it all feeds into their delusion probably because the more attention they get, the more money they get, the more independent sort of they become. But they are still relying on the simp army of dudes who are funding them.
Well, even too, the women that use their kids to like make money on social media, I think that's so wrong. That's what, what's funny? I posted, I don't know if you follow me on X, but I posted a thing that said, why do parents do this? And everyone thought, and it was like these parents parenting a toddler. And everyone thought I was talking about the way they were parenting the toddler, but I was talking about like posting it online. I'm like, I can't even imagine. Like when I was younger, I definitely had temper tantrums when I was younger, like kid, and I would be so embarrassed if I grew up and I knew that with everyone was watching that.
Yeah, how you pooped, where you went, what you ate. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, I don't usually, I watch this content. I know it's out there. What I tell to my guys that, like, look, guys, if you can help it, don't give likes to these women because this is effectively what they are asking for. You don't give them what they are craving for. You set the high expectations and standards for them so that they try to be better, try to do better. Because as many people mentioned throughout this show, the bar and the standards are so low for women that women even have no incentive to improve and do better.
Right. Right. Well, thanks for calling in, Chica. Call in anytime.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you call into my show too
Oh
on
yeah, for
Saturday.
sure.
Okay,
Saturdays?
thank you,
Okay.
girl.
See you.
Yeah, I'll see you. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye. You know, let me see if this chick responded yet. Sorry, Winston. Everyone thinks this is Winston's ex. Do you think him and what do you think, Blessing? Did Winston have I'm going to show you the Instagram. You can see my screen. Don't show it on. Do you think Winston and her had a more than friends relationship?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, they definitely did, you think?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it.
So, question, would you?
No, sorry, Winston. I wouldn't do it.
But you think Winston would?
I mean, everybody's choice, you know. Yeah. I,
Do you think you have higher standards than Winston? Is that what you're saying?
I do have high standards, I must say.
Oh, they're saying most likely. Sorry, Winston. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, I have a message. Oh, I'm not gonna read the. Yeah, okay. Did you see this blessing? Okay. Oh, he's a liar. Guys, sign up for the membership. Stop being cheapos, all right? Stop being cheapos. Get the yearly membership. I'm putting on A1 content for you guys. Blessing, is this not A1?
A1 stuff.
Okay, and plus you'll get first access to the documentary, all right? First access. I want to do a little whiteboard presentation. Can we take a detour, Blessing?
Let's do it.
All right. I'm having a load of fun today. Right, Blessing?
Let's go.
We should give Blessing a button that just says right. Okay. All right, over here. Many have asked me, and I wanted to point this out. Many have asked, what is a simp? What is a simp? Because many times I have to play pretend and pretend these women like their simp husbands. But you might say, Pearl, when you call a man a simp, aren't you insulting him? I don't look at it as an insult. I look at it as a matter of fact. Right, Blessing?
Right.
Now, when I say you are a simp, sir, I look at a relationship and I say, well, one, the number one thing that simps do, they bend the truth to spare women's feelings. Now, when I say women really only mentally make it to like 17, if like the most mature women, and the men come in and say, Pearl's the mean nymph. When I know deep down men know what they're talking, what I'm talking about. They know. That's called simping. Simping. You're just bending the truth to appease women. Now, the more important one I want to talk about, and I'm going to actually erase this just to make it a little easier for the board. How you can tell whose terms a relationship is on, if a man is actually simping. Because many may say, isn't it confusing, Pearl? How do you know? How can you tell? And I'm going to teach you guys, there's tells on how you can tell who is running the relationship. You might say, you have no idea, Pearl. Yes, I do. So I'm going to make this board, and we're going to have simping, S-I-M-P-I-N-G, stop simping, not simping. I really just look at myself as an analyst. I don't give advice. I especially do not believe I should give men advice on how to run their household. I think that's your problem. Right, Blessing?
Right.
But I do analyze, and I do try to take note of what works, what doesn't work. So simping, one way you can tell, let me ask my wife. Why does a man need to ask permission for what he can do in his own home? I don't even care if she makes more money than him. There is a level of authority that comes from a man being a man. For example, We are in 2024. 3 out of 4 women are working wives. And I still believe it is simping to say, let me ask my wife, even if she pays the majority of the bills. Sorry, trads. This is just how I think. Not simping makes decision and tells wife what they are doing. Many men that don't have any authority and have domineering wives tend to have copes of this. It's like a cope. They say, well, I mean, shouldn't you talk to the VP? Why? For what? Okay. Simping. Moving to her. Now, I'll give some caveats. It's one thing if maybe it makes sense to him to move to her. You know, I think there are cases where maybe the woman, like women just have connections at places. And maybe like it makes sense for him, but it has to be his decision. In general, when men move to a woman, for a woman, that is simping. It's simping. It's telling the woman you're more valuable than me. And simping at its core is inverting the natural order of the world. It goes God, men, women, children. And by moving to her, you're saying, women, you're above me. Why would a woman be above a man? Just, you know, saying this is going to never let me back on YouTube. I've given up, fellas. Now, what else is simping? Paying, oh, you know what? Paying a higher price than the men before, or treating a non-virgin like a virgin. Many men, and I see this in church often, say that they're going to wait till marriage with their wives. Many men, and I see this often, brag about waiting till marriage for women that are not virgins. If a woman's a virgin, that's one thing, that's a different category. But statistically, these women are not virgins. It's less than 3% of women are waiting for marriage. And what percent of those women are hot and in shape? All you're doing, fellas, is getting cucked. That's why we call them the trad cucks. You said, well, her ex-boyfriend got that for free. He had to wait 0 dates. And you decided to court her for 3 months. 6 months, a year. That's, drop the marker. But, ow, ooh, sorry, I hurt my foot this weekend, guys. That is simping, simping. Many men think it's simply about the virginity. But I have seen guys marry virgins that are absolute simps. I'll give you an example. There was a guy, he married a virgin chick, but the sex was on her terms. They waited till marriage because she wanted to, not because he wanted to, because she wanted to. And you know what she did after marriage? She only had sex when she wanted to. Again, it would not be simping if she was dying to sleep with him and he said, no, bitch, get off me. The religion, it's on his terms, or the relationship is on his terms in that way, not hers. Now, another way simping, women not taking husband's last name. Now, many trad women will say, oh no, it's just too hard to change my last name. Or, oh no, I take his name legally, but not publicly. Sorry, fellas, when a woman really wants to be with you, that woman will move the mountains to be with you. So that's simping. A woman not taking your last name and you putting up with that. SIMPING. Stop simping. Then you look, where do they live? Do they live where he wants or she wants? How is the house decorated? Is it decorated how he wants or how she wants? How are the kids parented? How he wants or how she wants? And the answer is, if it's how she wants, simping. If it's how he wants, not simping. Because at the end of the day, it's whose terms is the relationship on? And most of the time, fellas, it's on her terms nowadays, unfortunately. Did I forget anything, Blessing?
Nah, you got it.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to my chair.
All right.
I want to see if this lady came on. Well, let me see this Instagram. Well, I think that's all for today. Oh, wait. She said seen. Anya. I said her name. Sorry, Anya. Did she come on? What?
Nah, she ignored it.
What the hell?
You might want to unfollow her.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry guys. Oh yeah, they can figure it out in the chat. Well, she may not show up for this show, but maybe the next one. Blessing got her pregnant. Did you do that, Blessing?
Get who pregnant?
The chick, this chick we were gonna have on.
Nah. I have no kids.
Anyways. Well, guys, thanks for having a great show tonight. Where are the podcasts with 6 people? Sorry, guys, you can't pay me to do them anymore. But you should pay me for this show. And by signing up for our memberships at theaudacitynetwork.com, or we have 3 merch. She Belongs to the Streets merch, Whale merch, and Audacity Network merch.
Or you can send a free blessing donation.
Yeah, or a free Blessing donation. Blessing is very much like abused here, the emotional abuse, right? Just terrible. Can you call my ex, Pearl?
Help it, brother up.
Yeah, wait, if someone wants to send me their exes, how about next show, guys? I can talk to you guys as exes. That'd be hilarious, actually.
That will be bad.
Yeah, if you guys want to send me your exes' numbers, men or women, I can interview them about what they did wrong.
Yeah, guys, I'm ChatGPT.
Do you want to give me your ex's number?
That's no happening.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Guys, one in the chat if Blessing should let me call his exes.
I don't care what that was in the chat. Send 5,000. Maybe that might happen.
Yeah, but $5,000 super chat. Make a whole show on the exit. Well, you guys got to give me the numbers. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I love you guys as always. Like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you next time.